do you have today?
Just try one, that's all.
Okay,
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Milford Finance Committee, Wednesday, April 26th, Milford Town Hall. Before the meeting starts, I just want a personal note. I just wanted to give a word of thanks to the members of the town that came out and supported my family and the committee, and then all the nice words you all passed along, and it really meant a lot. So that's it.
We loved your father. It's you we don't like.
Trust me, that was the common theme of it. All right, so I need an approval of the April 12th, 2017 minutes. Motion, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, thanks. Next item on the agenda, we had Scott come in. Scott had sent us a memo he had emailed to us. It's also on the drive under the Public Works Subcommittee, detailing in addition to his workforce. It's called Additional Employees Force 717. So, Scott, take it away.
All right, I assume everybody read the memo?
Very extensive.
One sentence to the chairman, not everybody read the memo.
Yeah.
Oh, so nobody gets it.
It's short. It's on the
Oh,
drive.
it's a brief description of basically what I'm dealing with, what I'm thinking about, and what I'd like to see. Gets into a little bit of depth of money that I can save and money I have saved for other departments, the highway department, school department, parks department, every department. It's a constant thing that we do. The highway department is a maintenance department for the highways, but we are also a department that helps every department in the town, which is really difficult for us because we don't do our own work. And I don't mind helping departments. I don't mind the saving of money for every department, and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars at times. But we don't have the help. That's the bottom line.
You also assisted us with, at the road installations at the school. You
Right.
had your people up there.
We just spent a day up there with 4 guys moving granite for the
We
school.
appreciated that.
And we do that. We don't have a problem doing that. But at the other side of it, we have our own work to do. A perfect example is my first paragraph, the second page is, we had that estimate of $600,000 to repair the dams and the dikes at Louisa Lake. That was an estimate from the engineers that were, checking it over for us, doing the inspections. After looking at all the work that needed to be done, we could actually do the work for less. And we figured 150,000, maybe less than that. But again, that's 2 or 3 weeks' works, 5 or 6 of my guys to do that. So the bottom line is, we don't have enough employees. We absolutely do not. We've done everything in our power for the last 11 years. I've been a highway surveyor to work with it, buy equipment to make it efficient and easier for one guy to do a job rather than 3 guys. We've done all we can do. I mean, going forward, I have no problem doing all this work. The bike trail, we got a ton of work to do there. At $155 a ton to repair sections of the trail, and we do it for $50 a ton, it kills me to hire somebody to do it. It's just not worth it.
That was never gonna be needed.
Well, it's needed.
No, you're absolutely right, but when we were initially talking about that, it was never gonna happen.
Friends
Oh,
But it goes on and on and on, and we never had bridge inspections, we never had dam inspections. That's a whole new thing that we have to deal with. And obviously, the maintenance always needed to be done, but it's never been done. But now it's mandatory, it has to be done. I have to do it, my department has to do it. Like I said, I think the time has come, I'm not here, trying to waste town's money. I see a way of doing it with 2 employees and making it so we can actually save a ton of money, just by adding 2 employees. For $125,000 a year, we can save well over that. It's pretty common sense, in my eyes. And I could sit here and explain it all night, but it definitely is.
we had a may I?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Alan.
We had a meeting last evening where we reviewed your budget, and we were discussing the fact that historically you had more people, not you personally, but the
Right, the
department
department.
had. And we went back to as many as 24 or 26
Yep.
at one point in time, back in the 80s or the late 70s or something of that sort. So the trend has been downhill, and I think you're sitting with 16 at this point?
We are now at 14 employees.
14. Okay.
We had 24 and 78 long before me.
Now, you gave an example just a moment ago of having 5 or 6 people tied up with a bridge.
Mhm.
It doesn't leave you much.
No, you gotta understand the breakdown of the department too. We have two full-time mechanics. We have the general foreman or the highway supervisor now. That's 3 guys. And from now till the end of July, there's 2 guys in sweepers. So it just keeps getting less and less and less. I mean, we don't have 2 full working crews. When I say working crews, 4 people is usually a minimum crew. Whether you're doing a catch basin rebuild or adding drainage or paving, it's usually, we don't have a full crew anymore. We have 1 full crew and that's it. It really handicaps us big time when it comes to street work.
You could see it.
You know, and now the other issue I see coming is stormwater. This is a whole nother animal. This is a whole nother, who knows what we're gonna need for that, you know? And I don't wanna have to throw on you that I need 4 or 5 more employees to get this done, to do what we need to do. But I think even 2 for now is enough to get us going and see where we're at. I really don't know what to expect with that, I don't. I know we are building that 319 Grant wetland down on Dilla Street, will be starting any time. And that's a maintenance thing, that's a yearly maintenance thing. It's a big area, it's an acre of land that needs to be cleaned, maintained, cut, trimmed, whatever needs to be done. I mean, that's, again, more work, and it just keeps piling up. And
Scotty, you're looking to hire 1 person?
2,
Well, you said 100 grand.
120 or 125 grand, high end for 2 employees.
With benefit, that
So
includes.
they get no health,
It's-
they get no
That's full
benefits.
benefit, that's full, that's everything.
I'm really confused. That means they're making $35,000?
One of them will be a light equipment operator at $21 an hour, and one will be a
What does
heavy.
that mean in real money, 21? That's 40
I
grand.
got the numbers there.
So 40 plus 20, that's 60 some.
Heavy equipment operator is $50,664 a
So
year.
they're both 40 granders?
One's 44, one's 50.
Go.
50 plus 20 is 70.
120 somewhere.
Okay.
Another-
Okay.
Just want to make sure I understand because too many times we
Milford
don't.
math, but it works.
Yeah,
Well, no, but too many times we don't put in the benefits.
no, there's
No,
no
that's
question.
with
Yep,
benefits,
yep.
that's full
He has
benefits.
it calculated bottom, yeah, 123.
There's a sheet here, I don't know if you guys have this.
Yep, the last sheet. Oh, that, I've never seen that one either. But either way, you have the total here at 123. for the
Now,
two.
will that cut down the amount of contractors you use for plowing?
It could, it'll cut down on 2, because I'll have 2 more guys to plow trucks.
Right.
Plow trucks, yes.
So these guys will have the fancy licenses, so
Yep.
we don't have to hire 2 more expensive drivers.
Right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
what about overtime? Will it cut down on overtime?
Actually, you know, in certain situations it will. When we haul the materials out of the roads, I can only put 2 trucks out there at a time, so I only have 2 extra guys. So 2 more guys means 4 trucks, means it'll get done quicker.
Well, I
It
mean,
should cut down. I mean, it's not gonna be huge. I mean, our overtime is only 30,000 a year. I mean,
The LEAF program alone, it's gotta be 30,000.
no, my total overtime is 30,000 a year. And I don't think we spend more than 26,000 on a big year. So, yeah, I mean, we can cut a couple thousand off that probably, yeah.
And one more question, Mr.
yeah,
Chairman.
absolutely.
Scott talked about maintenance on the trail. I thought we put money in somebody's budget for part of that maintenance. I'm not sure it covered blacktop, but I thought it was the Parks Department, actually.
No, that was clean, if I may.
Yep.
That was not, if I remember right, for any hard top or anything.
No, I
That
don't
was-
think it was.
No.
but-
We bought the octopus thing.
Yeah, but I
They
thought
were
we had
doing
money
cleaning.
somewhere.
Yeah, in parks, but that was for maintenance, for them doing the work when we bought them the octopus.
There is a budget in there, I don't know the total budget, but the highway's end of the budget is like $4,000. And that would cover if I had to do all the line painting for 1 year, whatever time we spent in there, but to be honest with you, it's not even close to that now. I gave them bills today, and it's beyond what we're supposed to be spending, so. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a huge sinkhole on the bike trail right at Dilla Street.
I mean, I knew that we put money in one of the budgets.
1 second,
Yes.
Mike.
Yeah, this is about $8,600. A lot of it's for trees, broken fence, graffiti removal, things like Scott said, so it's minimal.
So maybe we should
It's
take.
it's nothing major, it's just,
Okay. No, I just,
He's got 2 part-times.
You know, Chuck.
Hey, Scott, you said that one of the employees will be a heavy equipment operator. Will that be a 1 or a 2?
That would be an HEO 1.
1? You don't have anybody that you could probably upgrade into that and bring to somebody else?
Oh, well,
at that
the
lower
HEO
level?
1 is a truck driver, equipment operator, and HEO 2 is a truck driver, equipment operator with a backhoe license. That's a higher position. We only have one LEO 1 right now, and he's not interested in getting a truck driver's license.
I thought you still.
But he can run equipment, right.
To work up, you know.
So he's, I mean, he has his job. He has, you know, he's the patch guy, he's the, you know, brush cutting guy and does all the smaller stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, Phil?
Yeah, did the subcommittee have a recommendation on,
Yes, we did, yeah, and we did tell Scott to go ahead and put the two people in, and it was favorable recommendation for that.
okay.
Anyone else? Scott, when I looked over your proposal, one of the first things that obviously that struck me, and obviously you had it first, is just the number of employees that's changed over the years. I mean, obviously, I think we were very overstaffed in '78, but
Yeah, of
I think,
course.
I think we are understaffed now. With the caveat that because you get these guys, I want you to continue to be as aggressive as you are. You always are with Louisa Lake Dam and the bridge and all that kind of stuff, saying, hey, we'll take care of it, we'll take care of it. And you have saved us considerable amount of money on that, and I see proposals of, you know, just in sidewalk repair, it would pay these two guys' salary in full, you know, and to me, it makes sense. But, you know, I would hope that you would use these two and continue to be as aggressive, and even, be honest with you, save us even more money
Absolutely.
than you're saving us now,
Right, a lot
because
of
you would have two more
Some of these are
people.
proposals, what we can do moving
Yeah.
forward, and there's
Yeah.
no end to it, it just goes on and on. Just for, right now, I just wanna let you know, what I have going right now, library parking lot, we're basically doing that for nothing. You know, the estimate was $48,000 for the section we're doing.
Yeah.
We're doing it for nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's a couple days' work and we get it done.
But that's why this committee, I think we would expect if we decided to go forward in favor of this, that we would like to see things like, you know, on snow and ice, that is gonna maybe go down because that you're gonna have people take care of it, or, you know, I know it's a different department, but my point is, we're gonna get savings from these people. I think that that's what we're looking for. We're not just gonna hire people for the sake of hiring people.
Right.
But we're gonna hire them with a return on investment that we're actually gonna, you know, save money in other areas that could hopefully pay for the salaries. I think that's important that this committee feels that, so, Chuck?
Scott, do you have applications on file of people who may be qualified for these positions, or are you gonna go out and recruit?
Well, I have to, I think the town rule and the union rules, I have to advertise the position. I have to do that, I have no choice. So, yes, we'll be advertising it. And some of those people will see it, or I'll call some of those people I was interested in, you know, usually I have a stack, it's a huge stack, so.
Anybody else?
One more question, Mr. Chairman. Where are we with the cemetery employees working for you guys in the wintertime and plowing and doing all that stuff?
They have been working on forest plowing,
That's helped a lot.
yes. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we have, our winter staff, our snow staff now is, well, we still hire about 50 outside contractors, but it was 65. So it has come down because of help from other departments. It's definitely helping, no question. You know, there was a question came up, do you have enough equipment for everybody? Yes, we have tons of equipment, that's not a problem. We don't have the bodies to drive it, so, not a problem.
And that's what we always expect is interdepartmental cooperation, and that's, you know, and I think that we are pretty good in this town. I think of when we do something with the Parks Department, we expect if you need their help, you're gonna help. And the same thing when you need the trail, and it's vice versa.
I always look at the town as one company.
And that's how I look at it,
That's
is
how I do it.
we have different budgets here, but in the end, it's all from the same bucket. And that's why when we do anything, I expected, you know, the door swings both ways. And, you know, I know that you've always been good about that, and I know the Parks has, and Cemetery has on volunteering stuff up. So, like I said, it may be divided on the spreadsheet, but it really is the same bucket of money. So, and that's the way I've always looked at it, so.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So is all of the asphalt in the town come under you, or do each department have to take care of it? For example, like I was up at the transfer station last weekend, they got a big trench across the front, and who would take care of repairing that asphalt? Is it?
It's really not part of my department.
It's not part of your
At the end
department?
of the day, of course, we would do it. You know, I don't expect them to hire someone at, you know, 4 times the price.
Right, to come in and.
You know, and it, depending on the size of it, we'll probably pay for the asphalt, or we may bill them for the asphalt. It depends. It really depends.
So I think the biggest thing is asking the two employees is that you've got a plan every year to do X amount of work. Because of the amount of employees you have right now, it's not allowing you to get to everything that you'd planned to, or you have to subcontract out.
Well, I'll give you an example. The end of last year, we finished our paving, and usually our employees do the looming and seeding after on the side of the road. We haven't done it yet. We ran out of time, we got into leaf season, I had no more employees to do it. So we were gonna hire a company to come and do it, it would've cost me 15, 20 grand a road. And I can't see doing that, cause it only cost us the loom at $12 a yard. So we're gonna do it now, but again, we're trying to clean the town now, we're sweeping, picking papers, sidewalk sweeping, and it's hard to get in there to do that, we just don't have the personnel.
So, looking at that page in your report that showed how the employees have gone down over the past
Yeah.
40 years, are these positions that were unfilled, or was it because we just needed to be constrained within your budget submittals, or just wasn't even thought about as,
I don't know, I don't have that answer.
okay.
You think there was more subcontracting in this sequence here?
The work has changed. I don't think Chapter 90 was obviously where it's at today. I don't think the town's contribution in road money was where it's at today. It was very little. So they were doing other work, a lot of brush cutting, cutting the rivers, the brooks, all that stuff, which we don't do any of anymore. That's completely stopped.
Right, right.
Because we can't. But I think that we have so much money for road work now that it takes all my guys just to keep up with that part of it.
Well, that's our plan, we wanted to give you enough
Right, no,
funds to
and
do
that's what
road
we're
work.
supposed to be doing,
Right.
that's fine, but, I don't know why that decreased, even in 1990, it was 15 employees, I started there in 97, I think, and it was 14, so somewhere in there, they lost someone too.
Okay.
Not
And
sure
that's
why.
inclusive of you, the 14 employees, and you're included in that number?
No, I'd be 15,
So
that
you're,
includes my
okay, so you're
60.
the extra person,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
But the
Okay,
15 employees, and just was everybody but the highway surveyor.
okay.
Mark?
I think part of the reduction, if I recall, since, was through attrition and budget cuts.
And budget
Back
cuts.
in the eighties, it was very tight. So there were a lot of budget cuts, and Ronnie Speroni, I think, was running the highway department, he was pretty frugal guy. So, there were cuts then, but, I mean, from 87 to 2017, it's only 5 employees, so, not only 5
It's
employees,
only 5, right?
just 5 employees. I don't know how to put it in. That's what I remember.
Right, and you also know that everything's increased size-wise, the town, there's more miles of road. I could not get the actual miles of road back then, so I wish I could compare the difference, but I couldn't get those numbers.
you
But
saw-
we're about 120 now, so.
You only have more street traffic than you had
Yeah.
back then, and that causes wear and tear to the,
Well, anyone who's on Facebook today realized we have more trash to pick up constantly too, if you saw what I posted. But that's a constant thing. We're picking up trash every 2 weeks. We go out, 3 or 4 guys pick trash. And it just gets worse and worse and worse and more work, so.
Scotty, with the increase in traffic flow on a lot of these roads, are you still using high-quality materials so the roads last longer, or are we scrimping a little bit there to save some money?
We're changing our processes to more of a maintenance, a 10-year program on some roads that aren't quite there to be rebuilt yet, so we do a process that's half the price of a full reclamation job, which will get us through another 10 or 12 years. In some cases, it works all right, some cases, we still have to do the road over, but a road like Depot Street, we did what you call a micro seal, it's 12 years ago, and we haven't had to touch it. It's getting there now, but it gave us our 12 years at half the price. We could do it again and get another 12 years at half the price, so. Sometimes it's just completely rebuilding a road is not worth it. It doesn't need it, it's overkill for
Well,
what
I mean,
needs to be done.
obviously, that's your call. I was just wondering with the increase in traffic flow, especially downtown.
Not just the increase in
major
traffic, but the materials they use on roads now, the actual asphalt is not what it was 40 years ago.
Basic micro.
It's not even close. You have roads that are 40, 50 years old in some cases, are just failing.
Maybe we should go back to cobblestones.
Right. But we have roads that were paved 20 years ago that are already gone, because the material's not the same. The amount of liquid asphalt they actually use, that's real liquid asphalt, is not near what it was.
So, from the letter, just one more,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. There's savings listed at every position. Do you have an overall guess of what the number could be?
For,
If we hire 2 employees, what will be the annual savings in all of these things that you do with the 2 extra employees?
mean,
increased
this-
productivity. That could
this-
be-
yeah.
Because we're gonna hold you to that number, so.
well, no, that's fine. I won't, I'm not gonna give you a number. This is a fraction of what we actually do. If I really sat there, it would take hours, and I could sit there and tell you for hours what we do.
I mean, with what you did here, you have
Well, you can
savings
see
in
right off
each
the bat,
department.
right off the bat, we're saving $150,000 at Louisa Lake. That's right off the bat. I mean, that's a guarantee, and to be honest with you, I raised that 150 at town meeting over a year ago, and we haven't been able to do it yet. I cannot get there to do it, just can't do it. We'll do it, we'll get there this summer, but we are falling behind on that, you know, when the money's sitting there. And I'd like to get it done.
So that one project pays for these 2 employees
Oh,
for the
yeah,
first year.
absolutely. But everything's, you know, it's the smaller numbers. Root damage on the bike trail, I'm not sure, because I haven't measured it all, but I guarantee there's probably, who knows, there's gotta be 100 ton out there, at least. And the difference is $100 a ton. We do it for 55, costs us 155 to hire somebody. That's the difference. So, I mean, there is a ton of savings.
I think stormwater, to be honest with you, is one of the biggest factors that I am toying with, because I think we both know that the stormwater situation is gonna become more time-consuming for the department, and it's something we have to address on there. But to Mark's point, I know that I personally am gonna set high expectations for when you come back and tell us about how many more new jobs you've done and how much more money you've saved us if we do this, so. Like I said, I don't want to speak for everyone here. I know that I personally am going to set a high bar for you. And you've met it in the past, and, you know, I just want you to continue to do it, so.
Jim, just one question. If the town proceeds and buys a water company, Scott, what do you see the impact to that, if we buy the water company to put in water lines, making repairs, how does that play in?
Well, I mean, the way it works now with the water company is whatever they repair, they fix the road. And sometimes we make them pave a road curb to curb. I think if the town owned the water company, to work together with the water company and decide what needs to be done on their end, what mains you need to do, and how we can, you know, fit our chapter 90 into actually do that road over at the same time. So they're done, we go in there, we grind the road, we do it over, a brand new road, brand new water line, everything's done at once. I really can't do that with the water company now. That doesn't make sense to do that. It doesn't make sense to me to schedule around them when they're a private company. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that with any company. A gas company comes in, I'm not gonna do a road over because they're doing a gas main. It's up to them to do the main over, the road over. So if we were to own a water company, I think that alone, that would be taken out of there, where we would do the road, because it's a town project. You know what I mean? So our chapter 90 money would go towards rebuilding that road. You know, I'll give you an example, like Exchange Street. The water main needs to be done there. That's why that road's a mess. I'm waiting for them to do it, you know? That's kind of the problem, where we could set it up together and get it done, all in one shot, so.
Does anybody have any other questions for Scott?
Well, I don't know where to send the bill for my shock absorbers when Exchange Street.
What do you guys want to do? Because we are going to be going through all the other budgets that are over 2%. Do we want to vote on this budget now? Does everyone want to open it up and look at it? Or do we want to just address it when we go through the remaining budgets?
Let's just do it now.
Just do it now? Then if ever-
Fresh in your mind.
Well, has everyone looked at it before? Once again, it's under the budgets. Scotty, what was the final number on your budget?
Somewhere in here.
2207, 217.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. And that represented a,
About
121
7%,
highway.
7 something.
it's not, computer. I apologize, my computer's acting up.
12.3%, Mr. Chairman.
12.3% increase. Okay.
Highway Administration. Is that right, Scott?
I thought it was less
That's
than that.
because of the two hires.
Yes, yes, that's because of the two hires. That's
Without the
exactly-
two hires,
He
You have
was,
to take-
you
you have to take
were,
No, that was at
140,000
2%.
you were at
I
2%.
was right at 2%.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's important to understand.
Yeah,
No,
The
that's-
budget's
that-
at 2%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, and he was at 2%, right, Joyce, he was, right? Yeah,
Yep, we're at 2%.
Yeah. okay.
How does
Yes, I
this-
have it here, 12.3, exactly.
How does this affect our overall budget? Where do we stand on that?
Well, we're gonna have a lot of adjustments. We got some other stuff coming up too.
I think you're right, the overall budget.
Yep,
The administrative, highway administration could never have been at 2.5%.
yep. So now Scott has two different, department, budgets. You have 421 and 422.
Right.
So we'll have to address them both separately. So Department 421, Highway Administration, total budget of $195,257, which would be a, as we mentioned, a 12.3% increase.
Move to accept that, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second by Chuck. All those in favor?
Why don't you reiterate, we're accepting budgets tonight and.
Oh, we are accepting budgets later tonight but we have all the other ones we need to go through too, so.
We're not approving.
Oh, not approving, oh, no.
Not approving.
Yes, yeah. So, all right. So that was unanimous. So Department 422, Highway Construction and Maintenance, he has a total of $1,011,960.
Motion and Chuck seconded.
Move to accept that
Motion
budget
to accept.
by Mike.
I'll second.
Second by Mike. All those in
Is there a
favor?
reason for that one?
Well, usually when you have his two budgets, that one's at 3.4%, but usually when you add your two budgets together, it maintained the two, and that's what we've
Yeah.
always looked for in the past.
No, I understand that.
Oh, so actually, yeah, we just want to answer the question then?
Yeah, well, uniform and shoes went up, that's a union thing. I had to put some more money in office supplies for some office work that needs to be done. My line painting's up because it's gone up over the years because of all the construction of Main Street and all the additions we've done in painting. And, went up on new equipment because I have to purchase a 1-ton dump truck.
You purchased that out of your budget?
Right, that's one of my capital items in my budget.
And in the past, 422 or 421, either one of them, whether they were high or low, we always would add the two of them together to get the.
Right, when I do my 2%, it's usually
2%.
between the two together.
Exactly. So, I had a motion and a second to accept on 422 at that amount. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thanks, Scotty.
You should know, Mr. Chairman,
Nicholson?
that number actually goes down because of Chapter 90 money as well, so, sorry.
Yep, absolutely.
Snow and ice, that was done last time.
Separate.
All right,
We didn't do snow and ice.
The last meeting, but it's 0%.
Okay, yep, excellent.
We good?
Do you want to do, want to do Article 23 while you're here?
yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Article 23 was the,
Um,
I mean, I don't have it with me, 125,000
Yep.
for consultant,
Yep.
Route 16.
Yep.
It's the final installment for the consultant fees to design the Route 16 project for the, on the tip, the project's on the tip. Due for 2018, so that's next year, so we have to get this completed now. And we're looking at 2018 for construction, so.
Move favorable, Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman.
we had already talked about this previously extensively. Second by Chuck. All those in favor for a favorable recommendation for Article 23? Thank you, that's unanimous. All right, so I think we're done with you.
Good, thank you.
Thanks very much, Scott. Have a good night. Next, Parks Department, pretty much the same exact situation as Scott. They had gone over their budget, which they were at the 2%, but they submitted another budget with additional employees, so the Park Department wants to come up and. Gentlemen, I apologize, I'm not thinking perfectly, so did you get anything to me about anything to hand out? No? No. Okay, that's fine, I just wanted to be sure, because otherwise I would get up on the drive, okay?
It's hot in here. Yeah, it's dying, we have to.
Yeah, now it's hot in here.
Yeah, it's hot.
All you had to do is just turn the thing down a little bit.
Got a key?
Not shut it off.
Got a hammer?
All right, guys, all right, Parks Department, they submitted a budget of $788,403, which represented a 14.6% increase. So obviously, I wanted to have you guys talk in, because I know I was at a subcommittee meeting, we had been talking, obviously, for a while about additional personnel and the coverages that you guys have, and, you know, the increased need for staff, so that's why I wanted to have you guys in, so.
Okay. Well, on behalf of the park commissioners and Park Director Brashani, we thank you for having us here tonight. They voted me as the opening act.
So, the Park Commission is part of our FY 2018 budget presentation. Wish to request the addition of 2 full-time light equipment operators. These 2 operators will be placed into the Park and Highway Union contract. The reason for that is, over the last approximately 15 years, despite the creation of additional facilities and fields that we're responsible for maintaining, we have not seen any corresponding increase in personnel to properly maintain these facilities, as well as keep up with the existing town, park, and school facilities. We've tried our best to keep up with existing staffing. Now, with the addition of Woodland School and its associated and immense landscaping needs, we are at a critical point regarding our ability to properly take care of what we have. Facilities added in the last 15 years, again with no increase to staffing, include Plains Park, which includes 20 acres of grass, which we have to trim, mow, we have a turf management program, fence maintenance, and trash removal. Also, the Milford High School grass fields, which include 6 acres of mowing, turf management, trash removal, field painting, etc. The Louisa Lake recreational area, shrub beds, mowing, trash removal. Fruit Street and the Prospect Heights playgrounds, mowing, cleanup, equipment, maintenance, safety and resurfacing the playground material, and the Upper Charles Trail. Responsible for trash removal, mowing over 12 miles, edging, graffiti removal, tree trimming, brush control, including trail crossings, invasive species control, fence repair, bollard repair, lock and gate maintenance, leaf, pine needle, and silt removal for the safety of our users. Now coming on board is the new Woodland School maintenance. According to the estimated maintenance plan and landscape breakdown, there are over 200 new trees that were planted, over 300 new shrubs that were planted, over 38,000 plants of various ground covers, perennials, and grasses. Also included in that is over 43,000 square feet of mulch beds, which require heavy maintenance, and about 6 acres of new lawn that we have to take care of. So in summary, with the addition of the above-mentioned new facilities, along with our other responsibilities for older parks, schools, and property maintenance, we desperately need the 2 additional employees to provide the appropriate level of service for our facility users. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Aldo?
I can attest to the quantity of materials up at the new building. I mean, I have walked it at least 100 times. My problem at this point in time is that you prefaced it, Joe, and members, as needing the 2 additional people this year to accommodate Woodland. Well, Woodland hasn't, the Central Landscape has not released the site. They are in process of completing hydro seeding at the other end of the building, so there's nothing there. The likelihood of their releasing part of the completed project would be behind the gymnasium area, where there's a pretty good size section of grass that would need to be cut, and as it curls around the building. Now, at no time would I suggest to you that there's not a lot more work up there. I mean, it boggles your mind, actually. My concern is this, that we really don't know what the Parks Department or whomever it is that's maintaining that is going to need to do. You have no idea, neither do we. Now, I'm looking at the document that was published And it's quite extensive, and I thought you did a nice job with it. I thought it worked out well. There is no history. This is the part that concerns me. There's no history available to us as to what we might need to do to maintain the property at the Woodland School. Now, I'm looking at the other items that Paul put together, and you can make some educated guesses as to how many hours you need, because you have historical data. You know how many times you've had to line a field. You know how many times you've had to roll the field. You know how many times you've had to cut the grass out in the back there. So you have some historical data, which puts you in a position of determining how many man-hours you're going to need to accomplish that task. My concern is that if you're going to do this the way you've laid it out, Paul, I don't see two people doing it, quite honestly. I see you needing more than two people, but I don't know that. This is what I'm interpreting. I don't see that we're gonna be ready to go full bore at Woodland Elementary School this year. Remembering, the last thing we want to do, certainly, I'm gonna take off my finance committee hat, put on the building committee hat. The last thing we want to do is jump the gun up there because of the warranties on everything that Central Landscape has put in. Everything in there is warranted. The trees, the ground cover, it's all warranted, if you can believe that. They're not marked or labeled, but they're there. So the last thing that we need to do is to get out and start moving around up there. As of today, none of it is ready to be maintained by the town of Milford. And, you know, and I did check and spend some time, and the conclusion was, therefore, the town can and hyphen should not do anything, should leave it alone so we don't jeopardize the warranty. But that doesn't mean they're not gonna release that field, and someone needs to cut that field. My only concern is that if we do two this year, I don't see that handling Woodland School. I honestly don't. I would suggest that what you do is get what you need for your known commodities, your historical areas. You can draw a conclusion. You know what it cost you the last 10 years to maintain those areas. And I don't think we can factor in Woodland School today. I think maybe at the annual town meeting, rather not the annual, the fall town meeting, hopefully we'll have some news, right? They were hydro seeding as recently as yesterday, or the day before. It was raining too hard yesterday. But they haven't hydro seeded at that far end, they haven't hydro seeded here. So my sense is that I think we're jumping the gun. I know Woodland's there. I know we need to factor in Woodland, but we need to factor it in knowing what we're talking about. Because you're talking about mulching, you're talking about trimming, you're talking about pruning. You're talking about pulling the weeds every 2 weeks. There are gonna be a lot of weeds. I mean, there's a lot of mulch. I mean, a lot of mulch. Now, the landscaping company is responsible for what's there now. They need to replace it, and they need to add additional mulch if that's what they need to do. They've got to turn that over to us in an acceptable manner, whereupon then I would think the Parks Department jumps in. But I'm gonna make a suggestion. Paul, you took it upon yourself to speak to Central Landscape. I'm gonna ask you to, if you wanna make a call, because I will too, to them, to find out how much time they've already put in with the installation of, because they have records. They have records for the amount of time that they've put out there trimming this and trimming that. It would be nice to know what they already have in the bank, so to speak, so that we now have an idea of where we're going. But right now, we don't know. I think you're shooting in the dark.
Well, this is, that kind of, I guess is kind of where we went. What I asked from them to say, if you need to maintain this property, what is it gonna take? And that's kind of what I gave to Joyce who hopefully she shared with everybody.
I do-
So,
I have-
I mean, that's an estimate right now, right? We don't know how that's all gonna turn out till it's all finished.
Exactly, and I don't, as, you know, having dealt with these situations, what they would want to come in and do and charge you for is really not what we would be doing. I wouldn't see us maintaining that project up there as they would suggest you do it, because you just wouldn't have enough personnel and the town wouldn't have enough money to give you.
Well, here, I guess what we're dealing with is, if anybody took a walk up there and saw the detail to what they're trying to present with the finished product, is where, you know, it's, how do we maintain it? I mean, what is the proper stage? We don't know that yet.
I don't either.
Okay, but what I think we're also talking about, that's just a piece of the pie of what we're talking about
Understood.
regarding
Understood.
our needs for additional employees.
Understood.
Chairman?
because
Yeah,
you-
Mr. Chairman, Chris.
Section 2 and 3, as you,
All right, Aldo, I'm cutting you off.
thank you.
No, but although it's,
I got it, Al.
but
The egg timer went off
You
about
might-
20 minutes ago.
do you mind if I say one more thing?
At
The
8:30.
other thing, there needs to be a coordination of
Ellie and then
of-
Phil.
you know, if there's something we're eventually going to do and take care of, we need to know really what's going on over there also. We haven't been, you know, we don't know, and this is kind of why I kind of went a little bit forward. Not that it,
Yeah, no,
you know,
okay.
at the end of the day, you know, we need to be on top of it also, but I think we need to work together a little bit to figure out what we're going to do. So,
I agree with you.
Yeah, just to pick up on, thank you, Chris. Just to pick up on Aldo's point, you know, looking, I know we've added facilities over the years, and that is clear. But to look at, you know, your need exclusive of Woodland, can you give me a sense, did you incur a lot of overtime to meet your current demand? Because usually when you're asking for manpower, it's because you're racking up OT, and you kind of come to the conclusion that, hey, it's cheaper to hire someone than to pay overtime, kind of thing. Is there any sense for that?
We don't do overtime, we just run out of time. We don't have an overtime budget, so a lot of stuff gets left undone.
Yeah.
So, for example,
Yeah.
at certain points during the week, spring, summer, fall, we have 5 full-time employees. 4 will be cutting grass, that leaves me like 1 guy to do, you know, everything else. I mean, the grass
Fields,
cutting,
trash pickup.
about 100 acres of grass takes a long time, at sites all over town. Takes a long
Mike,
time.
just to continue on that point, what are other examples of things you haven't been able to get to? What,
Just general cleanup, field prep, field maintenance, we used to,
enhancing fields,
Yes.
making things better.
Fixing
So
fences.
we're acting more like more firefighters,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
if a field needs to be mowed, we gotta go mow it. If something happens on the trail, we get a call from Reno, there's been graffiti there, okay? It doesn't take 5-10 minutes, it takes 2-3 hours. Now, if we had a guy that was supposed to go mow a field that day, or, you know, which, you know, if you kind of went with the schedule, no problem. But we've accrued, you know, within the past 15 years, a lot of areas, you know, we, you know, not that it's kind of, I guess, stretched out, but it's grown, but our department has not. Okay, our responsibilities have grown, the department has not, and it seems to be getting added more and more, and we're still with the same 5, you know, full-time employees.
Well, that's my question, Paul. Just in I think the highway department did a nice job in terms of tracking history of employees and saying at one point they
We find
had.
it hard to keep up, rather than get ahead and improve.
But you've had, what, 5 employees for
Forever.
forever?
and the trail is
Yeah.
way more than we thought.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to maintain. You have to cut the whole thing to keep the brush branches from coming in. There are so many people on that trail, which is a good thing. Who's ever the operator has to go really slow for the protection of kids, parents, dogs, so you just can't just go.
Yeah, just as a,
Everything takes longer up there.
just as a suggestion, Mike, I mean, what about, you know, summer help? Do you hire kids in the summer?
Yes, we hire 6 kids in summer, yes.
Okay.
Couple questions, gentlemen. We just said we have 5 full-time employees. Over the last couple, 3 or 4 years, I thought we purchased some bigger, better, faster tractors and lawnmowers and stuff to help with the efficiency of doing all that. Let me just finish. And I have to differ with my colleague over here that Woodland is gonna take more than 2 or 3 people. I mean, that's 50% of the town. It's not that big, okay? It's just not that big. If it takes 1 person to maintain it, twice a week, it's probably a lot.
No.
But wait a second. You just told me you have 5 employees and you take care of 12 million acres of stuff.
100 acres.
100 acres,
that
okay,
correct?
whatever the number is. And what's it at Woodland? To cut the grass.
There's 6 acres up there of grass, but,
But this,
have you been up there?
no.
Okay.
We can take
You
a
need- You
walk.
need to see it, Mark.
They don't let
It's,
me.
it's all pushable, it's not,
grass
there's
on
about
the-
1 acre of
No, I
mowable.
understand that. I'm just.
No, we're just talking about grass.
To
No.
Mr. Chaky's point, the grass
Gentlemen.
isn't the problem.
Gentlemen, I'm just having a hard time understanding that one school is gonna take up 50% of your time, or 50% of your manpower, all of the time. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with the design up there, or there's something wrong with the efficiency of your team. One or the other, and I'm not saying which one it is, but if you think the design is at fault, then we ought to look at that and say, maybe we made a mistake in doing what we're doing, because it's not maintainable. Or the third point is, maybe you farm it out. And you put in a contract part of your thing to, your budget, and let somebody else maintain that, and you maintain the rest of the town. But I'm having a hard time with.
Right,
the
well,
numbers.
so, I'll go to point 3. That's not our call, we don't know yet, because we're not
Right.
exactly
And so
responsible for the
beg- I mean,
schools.
Aldo's
We do
right.
maintain 'em.
Aldo's right. We should wait a year and see what goes on up there, and then be able to determine if 2 more employees will cover you or the town, and you have your other 5 to cover the rest of the town,
Okay.
all right? And/or 2 employees at, I don't know what the dollar value is. What did you estimate that 2 employees would
I
cover?
think it was 91.
Fully loaded.
91.
It's loaded or unloaded? Loaded? So for $90,000 a year, we may be able to hire out for 3 months of the year or 4 months of the year, somebody to come in and just maintain the woodland. I don't know.
We still need employees on the rest of this town.
I understand that.
And I think that's what
And
I
that's
think.
what I really want to
We're
understand.
gonna go to Mike too, but I think we wanna focus on that, because if we are talking about the woodlands gonna be in the future, though, they're already making a case about that they're trying to tell us about, right now, it's a Band-Aid situation.
That's what I wanna
Is we're doing.
understand.
And I think I'd like to more focus the conversation on that, because I think that's the more important thing we need to talk about. If we're living, Band-Aid here, Band-Aid there, and we're not fixing anything, and that's the issue, I think that's what we should discuss, because I think that's the important thing. If we're not just maintaining our parks instead of enhancing them, that should be the conversation we have today, because woodland obviously is a horse of another color.
One more, Mr. Chairman.
Quickly, and then I'm going to Mike, yeah.
Yeah, quickly. You bring up the trail, and when the trail started, it was pretty short and pretty easy to maintain. We're at, what, 8 miles of the trail, 7 miles of the trail?
6.1 one way, 6.1 the other.
Right, so I think the trail needs to be discussed as a whole separate issue, maybe outside of the Parks Department, outside of the Highway Department, and we ought to look at that and say, how can we maintain the trail without impacting everything else, from a personnel point of view?
Because the trail's become a beast.
It's a-
I don't
it's a
think
problem.
that there's
It's
any
a great
argument.
beast.
Yeah, no, it's
Whether,
really good,
whether,
but-
whether it's Scott talking about it or you guys talking about it, the trail's become a beast.
Right.
Yeah, Mike.
During one of the earlier subcommittee meetings, Mike, you were good enough to present us with a list of the properties that you've added, like about 7 properties.
Yeah.
Setting woodland aside,
Yeah.
and keeping that out of the argument, I agree completely with you about all of these 7 properties and the acreages that are involved in those. But what I got from that was more of a feeling of needing lawn maintenance and related tasks with that kind of work, where I feel, woodland aside, that you would be looking more at a seasonal light equipment, 2 seasonal light equipment operators rather than full-time. Scott's just added 2 more people, and I don't want to hear about snow plowing, because that has nothing to do with it. Your work is really focused, a lot of it, during the summer season, and these added properties that you've added here are really summer season properties from what I can see, and that really takes up most of the time.
3 season properties.
Right.
So okay, well, seasonal light equipment operators, I would tend to prefer more so than full-time. And I keep hearing about bike trail, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have 2 permanent part-time people allocated to bike trail, right?
No.
Well, it's on your personnel list that way.
We have a budget for bike trail labor,
Two
but
bike trail
we're
people.
way over that, because
right.
11,000 is
Okay.
nothing.
So that's my point,
if I
Mr.
could just-
Chairman,
could I
is about
just
the
address
seasonal
that?
preference rather
And
than.
then I gotta get to Al.
I'd like
One
to
of the
address that
reasons we
too.
put in full-time employees was because our full-time employees basically go with Scott in the winter. $21 an hour rate, and then Scott gets them for 3 months. They don't collect unemployment compensation. Part-time employees are making like $17.30. So, you know, looking to enhance our department and Scott for snow plowing, he's always looking for more people. So our 5 always go down with him anyway. We just assumed this was probably a good idea to get 2 full-timers at $21 an hour and
And Mike, to kind of get back to your question about part-time guys, we're looking to do enhancements to our fields, and it's tough to do enhancements when we're always catching up. So part-time guys, you know, would they help? Yeah, it's not going to hurt when anything helps. But if we had full-time guys that can concentrate possibly enhancing some of these fields, whether it's pheno fields, bullpens, or, you know, the soccer fields, the annex, and really kind of maintaining it on a day-to-day basis where one guy just goes mows it, next. We can't do any other things to those fields because of, obviously, between May 1st and October, the end of October, we got 4 guys on a lawnmower going 5 days a week with one guy trying to maintain all the fields with no chances to enhance, you know, or, you know, maintain fill-in holes or, you know, just fix things, paint things, do things like that. So it's, you know, with all the things we've picked up over the years, it's, you know, it's pretty hard to make any enhancements without the right, you know, staff
And Scott
in
mentioned,
place.
his trash collection. Ours is
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, just a
So the-
couple hundred barrels a week we're emptying plus picking up. It's just very time consuming. It's everywhere, so.
Again, why doesn't that go to the Board of Health and let the Board of Health pick up the trash around town? They pick up
Succeeded
trash
in
everywhere else.
totally confusing me. I see woodland shrubs as a separate issue. But when I hear we added the Prospect Heights as a new property, with all due respect, I grew up there. It was always there.
No, the playground area.
We always had grass there. We played baseball.
You didn't have the playground, you didn't have no, there was nothing there. We didn't even put a lawnmower up there.
Well, somebody used to cut it because we played baseball. We used to hit Guidos. That was when you knew you grew up.
Is that the backfield or the front field?
Yeah, that's probably right.
Is that the backfield or up top, near the west?
Fantasy baseball?
The backfield Portuguese club?
Yeah.
We maintained the Portuguese club?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, so I was asking, I don't know.
Oh,
Where you play
okay, I was
baseball?
gonna
Where'd you
say.
play baseball?
We played baseball from where the monument is
Okay.
and tried to hit the ball to hit
West Street?
Guido's Market.
Street.
That was always there. I mean, the high school, as far as I remember, years ago, we talked about removing the extra burden of a turf field when we put $4 million into a synthetic field. But the backfield, that hasn't been there for at least 15 years?
We would cut that once a month because it was terrible.
Dirt.
And then when we resodded it,
Okay.
I mean, it was terrible.
It's just, that's, Mike, I'm confused, because when I'm hearing these things.
We didn't
Now,
do-
Woodland, I guess when I'm thinking, the last 2 years, we haven't had to do anything, right?
Right.
Because that, Paul, you were one of the guys who paid with the Milford Hopedale Youth Soccer when we were there, paid 50 grand to make the new field that Parks maintained. Now we got a synthetic field, so that's more work than the little area that Aldo talks about? I'm
What do you
totally
mean,
confused.
Woodland?
Woodland?
Yeah,
We had 6 acres of lawn to mow, which probably took, you know, 5-6 hours.
okay.
Versus being real manual labor, you know, this is just hypothetical manual labor. It's not gonna take 5 to 6 hours to mow all the lawn that's up at Woodland now.
But it's small.
No, there's
No.
239,000
240,000 square feet.
grass.
Which is over 6 acres, but it's
Well,
not,
Paul, the field we built
no, no,
for
no.
Hopedale, Milford Hopedale Soccer, that was smaller than the little area? Okay, it doesn't seem significantly smaller.
Let's just,
to me.
I just want, because I'm getting a side
But-
conversation about answering. your-
Fundamental question I have, the woodland shrubs, weeds, all that stuff, they're beautiful. I think they're gorgeous. When you tell me it's $150,000 a year forever to maintain them, I gotta tell you, the shine just came off the bulb.
Who said that?
Said 100.
Well, two people, 100,000, let's say 100 grand, 90 grand.
That's a piece of the puzzle we're talking about.
That's just a piece of
That's
it.
just a piece of it.
Cause to me,
If
if
we're-
it's gonna cost 70 grand to maintain those shrubs, I'd say give it back to the school, see if they think it's worth it.
I think your vision is skewed a little bit.
Okay, that's why I say I'm
All due
confused.
respect, we're not, the two bodies are not to just weed woodland. The two bodies that we're asking for. I think it's the future of taking over Woodland, right? The anticipation of taking over Woodland on top of everything else that has been added over the years.
Joe, aren't you just adding the shrubs? We had a
No,
woodland.
no. Al, get out of the shrubs.
Okay.
Get out of the shrubs.
Give the shrubs
Get
back.
out of the shrubs. Get out of the weeds, Al.
Okay.
Talk about the
I'm talking about the addition of the bike trail, the addition of Plains Park, and there was never any additional staffing put on. Now the anticipation of Woodland coming on. Now we're coming forward to say, listen, we tried to do this all these years. He did the best that he could. It's been a Band-Aid effect after a Band-Aid effect. We've never been able to get ahead. We've never been able to, we have the manpower to redo the Pheno Field Annex, to upgrade Votolato Field, to upgrade Tomaso Field, to upgrade Rosie and Glazy within our staff, because we never had the staffing level, because of everything that was added. And it's just again, the anticipation of the Woodland School coming on, maybe not this year, but next year, to Aldo's point, right? That's why we're coming to you now, feeling that we need the additional staffing that we're asking for.
And I guess I would feel a lot better supporting if I knew what we get. I mean, if you take the weeds off and you say we're not gonna spend 90 grand a year maintaining beautiful, gorgeous shrubs, okay, if the school committee really thinks they're that important, have them maintain them. Simple. Now you turn around and say, okay, what do we want to accomplish? You know, because you're throwing out upgrade Votolato Field. And again, I know I'm slow, but I don't understand what that means.
I was gonna ask the same question.
You know, all these projects, if you came back and said,
They're just projects.
here are the 6 projects we'd like to do next year. If we do them internally, it's gonna cost X, you know, we need 1.5 persons. If we farm it out, this is the cost. I mean, Mike, we went through this when we said, why don't you hire somebody to cut the grass?
Prevailing wage.
And you went through a list that said, look, the reason we don't wanna do that is that the economics are skewed in the favor of our own people. I guess I'm asking the same thing here, because I'm getting scared when I'm hearing, you know, 2 for highway, 2 for parks, 3 for the other, 2 over there. And all of a sudden I look and say, that cushion we had just went away. We're hitting real close to the limit of our budget, and that leaves no room. So if it was me, I would have asked you, show me what you want to get done. When you say upgrade Votolato Field, talk to me. Tell me what you want to get done, why, and then what are my options? Because if it makes sense to hire somebody, figure out a way of hiring them. But I don't have enough right now, and you're right, I was getting totally lost in this whole discussion of maintaining bushes.
Aldo answers this.
Yeah. We have a time out for Aldo, yeah.
The landscape guy.
I was just gonna say, is it Western
Central
Nurseries?
Nurseries.
I mean, I
Tell
think
him I
that,
wanna talk to
I know.
him. Aldo, Al wants to talk to him.
No, it's Jonathan saying, I
Yeah.
didn't plan on $90,000 a year of maintenance.
Yeah, no, I think Al's project idea was actually a good idea. But I had a suggestion, and I understand that Woodland is to be determined, so we really don't kind of know. But would it make sense to hire, and I can't speak for the rest of the committee, to hire one additional person, and with the caveat that you'll look at Woodland down the road and see what that means? And I think identifying projects and what you're gonna get to, because that gives this committee some sense of, okay, we hired someone, but we are getting value because they're doing A, B, C. And cheaper than would it be to hire someone from the outside. So that's just a suggestion, and,
That's a good compromise.
And to be honest with you, that's where I was, Phil,
Not
you took it from me,
speaking
and
for the
I
board,
just,
but
that's
good
kind of where I was gonna go, because I'm a parent, I've spent the fields that you just listed, and please, this is gonna be don't take this the wrong way, a lot of them stink. And it's because you guys don't have the ability to maintain it. I know that. I've been to other fields in other towns. My kids are on the field. I want people to come to our towns for state baseball tournaments and say, wow, that's a nice field. That's a nice project. I don't think you guys can do it right now.
Yeah, one other
I'm being
point.
perfectly honest with
We
you.
used to when we did
You,
that.
you used to, but I don't think you guys are able to do that right now because we've filled your plate. Okay? So to go there and do these things and get everything in tip-top shape, like you say, it's back here on the back burner. So I was gonna go kinda in the direction where Phil was, is that I don't wanna hear about Woodland. Let's not talk about Woodland because we don't know about Woodland.
Let's get to.
I know you don't. But my point is, I think that there's a need for you guys in just getting your head above water. Because I think right now, you know, it's here. And I think you guys need some help. And I know you certainly identified that, and certainly that's my opinion. I mean, when you looked at all the additions there are, what the Woodland addition is, though, I'm in complete agreement. I haven't,
That's a different beast.
I have no idea.
Just another quick
But, yep,
comment.
absolutely. Phil.
Yeah, you know, if you could get the geese out of Plains Park, that would be a wonderful,
Me and Mike
wonderful
talk
thing.
about this at least once every 3 months.
Because you know, we play, there's kids playing soccer on those fields.
Phil, I have some ideas, but
But I have to tell
You know
you.
what we do? You know what
My
we
wife
do?
get me
I hate
out
to
of the
make a
house every
personal,
night. She do
I
the
hate
same
to make a
thing.
personal comment, but I have to tell you.
We've had everybody in there to look at it. It's almost impossible, that's where they live. I have a starter's pistol. I put them up. They fly. You know where they fly to?
The next.
Pheno.
Phil, yeah.
I go to Pheno Field. I
Back to
look like
Plains.
an idiot. I put them up. Guess where they go?
Okay.
So, but you will see, I mean, it's part of, it's
Call the
it's
Audubon
part of the beast. So, once this activity started on these fields, they change their activity. So when you see more, when they see more kids on the field or anybody on the field, they tend to disappear. Like Pheno, we had about 100 geese at the beginning of the season. Now we get the same 4 that return, but there's only 4 of them.
You can't get them?
So we can't get rid of them, but I mean, it's the same thing every day.
Okay.
Legal.
I don't know how many, yep.
To Phil's remark, I guess I'd like to throw it out to you that if it came down to the point of discussion where you were choosing between one permanent or, say, alternative, 2 seasonal LEOs, which way would you want to go? 1 permanent or 2 seasonals for now?
I think one of, definitely what would benefit the town is 1 permanent, because they do work for the highway during the winter, and they'll save on hiring outside guys, probably almost at, I don't know the rate, but it's gonna be pretty much the same, so it's, I would definitely say 1 time per time, and they
You
would,
don't need the full-time guy in the winter, do you?
we do, it all depends on the situations, we don't know. We fix a lot of the park benches during that time, we might it all depends what our needs are during the winter. Like we fix some of the dugouts during the winter. It all depends on the
Cut all the
field
brush and
itself.
the
Cut
tree.
all the
Cut all the
brush,
brush
the
and the
trim,
tree
pick,
work.
yeah.
when there's
Tree
brush,
work.
tree work, fence work when we can, when it's not snowing out and they're not with Scott.
So the 1 full-time is your preference? Okay.
No, and I said it with Scott, and I know that this committee, when we add head count, we take it very, very seriously. And I said that to Paul, and you guys were in the back of the room, I'm gonna expect nice reports later on, we did this, we did that, and let us know all those things and justify the stuff to us,
You know,
okay?
We don't ask for
I-
a lot. We ask if
I know,
we
but
need.
once again, I said it to Scott, you heard me say it, so,
I have one more question.
you know,
We've been putting away, we got $600,000 earmarked to turf a new field. Hopefully this year we'll get another 200, and then we can start, let you
It's
loose.
looking like we did before. Yep.
If we do that, and obviously I've been a proponent of that for
another-
many years. Are we gonna need another person? Are you gonna come back and then say we need another person on top of this?
I get it, let me
Who's
correct
gonna
it.
turn the lights on?
I thought,
That could kill this project in my mind, if we have to add another $100,000 a year.
So no, you're, like you.
I'm worried.
Like getting out of the weeds again, let's get off the turf. So turf, obviously, you're not, need more maintenance. It's, it's the surrounding parts of it. So wherever we put the turf, we don't know if it's gonna be on an existing location or a new location. So that-
You know, we'll play the game and go through the mating ritual, but it's gonna be on an existing location. The
So-
only place is either Town Park or behind the high school. So I guess my question is, when we had envisioned this, we said, it won't take any more maintenance, but won't take any less.
Of course not, it's turf field.
Okay, so
But we still have to keep the maintenance and the daily,
but what I'm worried about is we're doing that now. You're not gonna come back and say, now that you added another field, we need more. Okay, I just wanna make sure, because before I go put my neck out in front of these guys again, and ask for
We're on
another
that same
200,
page, absolutely not.
that, it's not gonna bite me next year.
No.
Cool.
Anybody else? Can you guys just give us what the amount would be for one person?
45K.
Well, I gotta go 45 and change.
Can't.
It's
Half of
90,
90 is
91.
45.
Loaded.
One
Didn't you
employee's
say it's
salary
20
represents.
grand, Zach, for all the benefits for a married person?
wouldn't be in their budget.
No, time
But
out.
we
I
like
don't wanna
to
play that
do
game, to
loaded
say
numbers.
it's not in my budget, so it's, you gotta talk about a real number.
They're talking about, I mean, it's the same position, it's the same as.
So it's like 45 grand salary,
Yes.
plus 20
Yes.
grand more, or so it's 65, Mark. Don't think 45.
But you're talking about their budget.
Yeah, increase their budget, but we have to think mentally that we're increasing our budget, town-wise.
I think you're preparing to vote.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanna make sure that we're taking in, this is a $65,000 hire.
Same thing with the highway department.
Same with the highway department.
Absolutely. And
That's why I said to Scotty, you gotta count in the 20 grand per head.
He gave us a loaded
And he
number.
did give
He
us
gave
the
us the
loaded
loaded
number.
number, that's why I think this number's really
Oh,
low.
but that was what we asked. He said, Joe said 90K, and you asked if it was loaded. He said yes.
Yeah, right. So you take the 566 and you take off half of the
Okay, that's why I'm
205.
confused.
That was why I
If it
questioned
says
it.
loaded
What
at
do you mean?
He's talking about
90
benefits.
grand, right?
Well,
Cut
that's-
it
we-
in half 45, that means you get to hire somebody for $20,
No,
$1,000.
33,000 or something like that.
Yeah, so that's 50.
Everybody, stop
Okay.
for 1 minute.
45,000 was, I misspoke, unloaded.
Right, okay,
Thank
now
you
I'm
very
comfortable.
much.
That's
It's
fine.
65, Joe.
Take off the-
Yeah,
That's fine, Joe. I mean,
Yep.
That's, I figured it was, but that's why.
I don't think it affects
Well, normally.
the thought, but I wanna make sure we're all on the page. This is a
Absolutely.
$65,000 expense.
Yep.
Agreed.
Not, if we gave you 45 and didn't budget in an extra 20, you can't hire anybody for 20.
Understood.
His budget doesn't have the loaded number.
No.
No, it does not.
No, but we have to look at
Right.
the whole
But we're
budget.
accepting, we're voting to accept the
That's-
amended budget.
That is absolutely
Of
correct.
45, knowing there's 20 more coming in benefits. That I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
correct.
Sorry to pick on you, I just wanna make sure we're all getting the right
Half
numbers.
guy.
All right. So I need someone to do some addition for me, so give me, do you have, because we're gonna make a motion right now, so I need you guys to give me the number.
Put the motion in to
Okay,
add
Chris.
the guy,
Add
and
45.
have Abo Dabo.
But I don't want,
Add
it's
it in.
45 and change, is it 46? I mean,
It's right here.
tell me what it is.
45,778.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. So 46. All right.
This is yours. This is mine.
So we're accepting
Yep.
their budget plus 45,778.
Well, the budget they submitted
Got
two.
two,
has two
less.
people.
So we're accepting their budget less.
Less.
45,
Less
770.
45,778.
That's
Is
exactly
that a
correct.
step one heavy or light operator?
Light equipment operator.
Light? Step one light.
Step one light.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Play those games.
The subcommittee chairman should make this.
Who's the chairman?
Who's the sub-
Vote to accept the Parks Department budget as amended.
Second by Chuck?
What, I can't.
Well, no, no, absolutely, I mean,
Discussion issue now,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay, I would like to leave that motion as is, but I would like to have a gentleman's agreement. They come back with project list in the fall of what projects they're going to work on with the addition of this one person and what the return on investment's gonna be. And we asked Scotty the same question. I mean, so it's
And I
only
did-
fair that we ask him the
Hey,
same
like I
thing.
said, yep. Can only assume you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, you good with that? No problem.
All right. All right, with that stipulation, there's a motion and a second for the accept this budget. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Paul, did you win today? Any game today?
Play tomorrow.
No.
Rainy out today.
It's gonna be a little rainy tomorrow, too.
All right, guys, we got a lot more to do.
supposed to be out there.
No, in the morning.
Zach, can I? Absolutely. Thank you, Jen. Sorry. Of course.
Thank you.
All right, guys, settle down.
Oh, tip-off, is that what he said?
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're gonna jump ahead because since Jen's here, and I apologize, I didn't want to keep you any longer. She has Article 28 on the warrant. And I wanted her to come in and talk about the assessor's article on there, so. Article 28.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, everybody's got that? So Article 28 is a local option. It's Chapter 59, Section 5, Clause 22G. Accepting this section of, it's basically the statutory exemption section relative to veterans. So basically what we're asking is that the town accept this local option, which is going to do two things. It makes two changes to the current law. The first is that if you're a veteran and you would otherwise qualify for an exemption, if your property is in a trust, you will meet that ownership criteria. When you, normally before, if you're in a trust, like all the other exemptions, if your property's in a trust, unless you are the trustee and a beneficiary, you don't meet the Department of Revenue's standard of ownership. So for veterans, this would allow them to have their property in a trust and continue to meet the ownership criteria. So it allows that, and the second piece to it is that the statutory requirement, residency requirement currently is 5 years. You have to live in Massachusetts for 5 years. This would reduce that from 5 to 1 year. So those are the two changes.
And I'm sure nowadays with more and more estate planning, that more and more people are having their properties in trusts where
Right.
before they never did anything like that, so.
Right, right.
Financial impact?
Yeah.
Well, financial impacts would just be that if people were to come in and apply for it.
Well, let's assume that we had numbers before, right? We had this on the warrant before it was accepted, before it's an ongoing thing. We've just changed some of the criteria. So the financial impact last year was,
Of the exemption, Jen.
yeah, of the
What was the
exemption.
dollar value of the
I don't think,
reduction
it
in taxes?
wasn't a lot, I don't remember.
I can tell you that for veterans, we granted 122 exemptions last year for a total tax dollar amount of $80,400.
I was gonna say, we usually, I think it was like 75.
under 100K.
right? Oh, yeah.
Right. And of that, we do receive reimbursement from the state for about a third.
What do you think, do you have any sense, but in terms of dropping the residency requirement from 5 to 1 and allowing trust, you have a sense for the dollar value? You probably don't have a trust.
the
You don't
increase
know-
in number
You
of
don't know
veterans.
who's in
Right.
trust, but you
Without
might know.
knowing how many
might
new
know the-
veterans there are in the community that would be under 5 years, it's kind of, there's so many unknowns to that. So what I did was I looked back.
Yeah.
And I said, let's do a 3-year look back. I went back 3 years. I said, how many veterans got denied because of these two particular pieces,
Exactly.
okay? We've had 2. Okay, one was for the trust issue and one was for the residency.
Okay.
So
Okay.
realistically, this whole thing is about 2 veterans.
Well,
Right.
maybe more,
And
but
then
it's
obviously
under
the
That's
100.
not, Mark, with all due
Really going
respect, let's say her numbers are totally off, and it's 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, this is not a major financial impact,
No.
except for the 2 people who we're trying to honor as veterans.
I was just gonna say, and even if it is, it's for the right cause.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Move
Okay.
to,
Yeah,
move to approve, favorable on this target.
Yeah,
Second by Phil.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Thanks, Jen, for coming in. Sorry you had to wait.
Just as an aside, the cost to the town for those 2, if, for them qualifying, say in this fiscal year as an example, after reimbursement from the state is $350. Okay,
Perfect. You had the numbers, Jen.
thank you so much.
Thanks. All right, let's go back to, and Zach, if I could trouble you to come up. We have all the departments that met the 2% recommendation. We went over at our last meeting. There were some departments that did not meet the 2%. As I mentioned, I know that they're gonna be very easily answered by contractual obligations. So I think between our committee chairs, in between the 3 people in front of us, I think we can blow through accepting these budgets. So I'd like to just go through them one at a time, and if a subcommittee chair can speak up on the reason why, and, or one of you three, like I said, I think we can blow through these really quick, so.
Where are you, Mr. Chairman?
They are under FY 2018 budgets, and it's budgets over 2%. And there is one more that isn't on here, that it's the library, that I forgot to move over, but we'll go over that one as well, so if I forget to go over that, remind me. All right, everyone got them pulled up? I'm literally just gonna list through them. 131 Finance Committee was a 2.2, that was
You can answer
because
that.
Diana got a big raise, so that's what.
And Paul got a big one.
Yeah, yep, you did, Paul? Okay,
I got a step increase.
all right, great.
Took me 18 years.
135, oh, we gotta accept these each one at a time too, right? Right? Yeah.
We do.
Motion.
Second.
Which one?
Motion by Al, second by Mark for 131 Finance Committee. All those in favor? Unanimous. Town Accountant, 2.8%.
Same deal. I actually have a contract, and Wendell was brought over last year into that budget. He has a step as well. And along the same lines as the Finance Committee, if you noticed, a lot of these, we did make an attempt to adjust the general expenses as well, to the extent that we could. So that, if you notice, is a negative 8.8 in the general expenses. And that's about as tight as we could go there.
Absolutely.
Make a motion.
Motion by Jeff,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor? Unanimous. Town Treasurer, 3.3%.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I did not bring the stuff with me tonight. I totally forgot. I'll.
That's all right.
And I went over
Take
with
care
the
of it.
Yep.
treasurer.
So, for the salaries and wages, I also have a personal contract. I have, a clerk that will be stepping twice next year, for union, obligations. And then for our general expenses, we have a state requirement every 2 years that I have to have an audit performed on our OPEB liability trust. So most of the money, I think it was $600, my general expenses is increasing.
Yeah.
It's just trying to put it to that line item, along with encumbering funds from this year and next year. That way I don't have to come back next year for a huge number. Usually the audit's about $9,000, so if I can try to,
Consultant.
Yep.
yeah, further consult.
I'm not challenging, but I'm confused. How do you do 2 steps in 1 year?
He's also referring to, like, they step as well as have a
Year.
COLA.
Sorry.
In the
It's a
ma- in
COLA.
the-
But it's not 2 steps.
No, it's a COLA and a
Is that
step.
something
It's
new
a new
now?
personnel policy.
A new policy
New
for, it costs
personnel
us another
policy.
100 grand?
Yep.
It's a COLA and a step.
Motion on Treasurer to accept.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Just
Tax,
Just an aside real quick, we will go over the debt reductions when we go over the articles. We
Yep.
did talk about that as
Yep.
well.
Tax Collector, 146, went up 3.7%.
Similar situation, also gonna be able to reduce some, outside labor, sub money, I'm sorry, and drop down to the general expenses to be able to do some new initiatives that we're looking into, such as a lockbox.
Perfect. Motion by Jeff, second by Mike. It's all right if I do that, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, just to make it quicker.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go, yeah.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Other general government, 2.3%,
This,
148.
there was also a 147, I did notice that earlier, I meant to address that with you when I talked to you earlier. That's the benefits office. So
Okay.
that was broken out from the town treasurer, so what we did was also break out last year's to try to make apples to apples.
Okay.
So that's the new benefits office with Kelly and her assistant Kara. They have their own office. Kelly's been around for 30 years. She, in my opinion, deserves her own budget.
Yep.
She's also kind of along with Paul, when the personnel board study came out, some people got the short end of the stick and really didn't get a raise last year at all.
Yep.
So it kind of gets the double whammy effect this year. That's why you see a 4.6 overall.
Okay, we don't see, so can you just tell me
I'm
what the
sorry,
amount is?
yeah,
I
so
know, that's
it's-
my fault, I'm the one that did this.
It's,
so.
personal services is 122,500. General expenses is 5,600 for a total of 128,100.
Motion by Mike, second by Al. All those in favor? Unanimous. 148, other general government, went up 2.3.
Exact situation.
All right. Motion by Aldo, second by Phil. All those in favor? Unanimous. Law Department, 151, up 2.9%.
Cut the budget down to nothing.
Big money there.
Is that to send the Jerry to Bermuda fund?
Jerry to Paris fund.
Seriously, you know? What's this croissants fund?
Personal contract, contractual obligations, level funded general expenses.
Perfect, thank. Motion by Chuck, second by Joyce. All those in favor? Unanimous. Town clerk up 6.4%.
This one I do want to talk to a little bit.
Certainly.
This will also show up later under my article for transfers between the lines. That had resulted, I'm on the transfers now, because of early voting. You'll hear more about that when I get into it, but that's also in conjunction with, this was not appropriately budgeted last year. So it's not, when you look at 6.6 in the personal services, it's not adding hours, it's not that multiple step situation. This is just, there was an error last year and this is fixing it.
Where are we? Motion by Joyce, second by Mark. All those in favor? Unanimous. Town planner up 2.2.
General expenses up 7.7%, Mr.
Yep.
Chairman.
So, I'll speak to that too, in the town planner, and I wish I would have grabbed Jen when she was here, because it
Yep.
kind of goes hand in hand with the assessors. There is looking to add on what's called a dashboard onto the app Geo account that we have on the website that allows people to look at various layers of kind of GIS capabilities, but not the full. And it's going to help tremendously in the assessor's office, and maybe, I know Rick has something on that too.
The only other thing, it will, currently they have to do it through a consultant under the annual contract, so hopefully we'll be
Do what?
What,
able to, these types of adjustments.
we're talking was $1,500.
15, I believe that's the number, correct?
5% small number.
Yeah,
Correct.
1,500.
I'm confused. I'm sure he's confused. Al, too.
Now, we've gotten confused over the years by putting these one-time items in the budget, so that next year, when you say, I'm only 2% over last year's budget,
We take them out. As due diligence is part of the subcommittee's chairman's responsibility to take them
Pull
out.
that out.
well, I mean, I guess I'd like to ask Miss Diana to keep a separate list of these one-time additions.
Good idea.
Because
This is a
this
correction.
sounds like a one-time
Oh, that was
purchase,
the previous.
No, that was the previous one with the
Yeah.
correction.
right? Am I correct? This is one-time purchase
I
of stuff?
understand this as to be a recurring service. that
Oh,
will-
okay.
To do what,
then it-
though? I'm sorry, to do what? What are they doing?
It's to allow more enhanced capabilities within the app Geo software that
Must
we
be a
have available
subscription.
to the.
I would think.
It is a
Yeah.
subscription.
To me, that's what it
Okay,
is.
that's different.
They're bagging you for
Now,
more money for more
I just wanna make
features.
sure we
I use it all the
understand.
time. It's as detailed as it could be.
You want me to wait till next meeting on it for
No.
$1,500?
How much is this?
$1,500
$1,500
an argue, but I
Thank
wanna
you.
find out what it is.
I will ask.
I just
or
wanna
if a
know.
department head.
I wanna know, because I use it.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Motion by Jeff, second by Mike. That was 174. All those in favor? Accept. 182, Industrial Commission, up 4.5%. It's $130.
Oh, my.
Hello.
Motion by Mike, second by Al. All those in favor? Unanimous. Police, 210.
Hold off on that one.
Thank you.
We have answers for that.
No,
It's
Oh,
going.
Mike
we're gonna go, next
presented-
meeting, we're gonna do it. Next meeting at 210.
We're gonna do it next meeting?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Al would, Zach would like to do it. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? I just found out at 6:55.
That's okay.
It's going down.
Please
okay.
hold on. Yeah.
He's, okay.
Sounds mysterious, Mr. Chairman.
It's not,
You'll have full disclosure at the next meeting.
it's certainly not mysterious.
I wanted to cut you off.
Fire Department, Department 220, so mark that down, that, Diana, can you mark down the 210 or just?
I don't have the, what you're looking at in front of me. I did notice that we had an error in the FY17 category. What you're looking at, are you seeing a reduction of close to 42% in the general expenses?
Yeah.
Yes.
FY17 is classified wrong. There is no reduction in general expenses. It's all flatlined.
No, general expenses remain flat, yes.
Yes.
No, we did that analysis at the meeting the other night.
Correct.
It's flat.
Correct. So I had it presented wrong on Article 4, and I have since
His
corrected.
budget goes up 157K essentially from the adjusted fiscal year 17 budget.
Correct.
So what is the
Personnel
total?
services. The total is still correct.
4131.
And actually, the presentation of the FY18 budget is correct. The percentages are wrong because we had the FY17.
Okay.
No, the FY18 budget says 128K for general expenses, not right.
General expenses don't go up at all.
From what?
General expenses go down 40.9%, but you're saying that
No, the
The previous year
239,570.
comparison
is wrong. That
239,570.
217 is the wrong number,
Yes.
is what you're saying.
Oh, the-
Correct. Yes. Yes.
But the 4131,
The
$4,131,250 is a correct
Yes,
budgetary
it
number.
is. Correct.
Okay.
I thought the percentage, Mike, was 3.5%.
3.97% total budget increase from the
4%.
revised budget.
Right.
That included the year 2 of the firefighters' contract, which was a 2.5% increase, a 0.5% increase for the night differential, which they get even though they work 24-hour shifts, 1 on, 3 off.
20-minute discussion on that. I
Yes.
didn't agree with any of it.
I heard.
All right.
Longevity pay also went up, and per the direction of the town administrator, the chief, whose contract expires this year, he had guidance to put in 3% for his salary.
Okay.
So that kind of outlines the reasons for it. Union allowances went up as well as per the contract, and overtime reflects the new rate. So that's kind of everything for the analysis.
Mr. Subcommittee Chairman, would you like to make a motion?
So, subcommittee voted to accept the budget as presented. So I make a motion for the full committee to accept the
Budget
budget as
22.
proposed.
220. Second by Mike. All those in favor? Unanimous. Inspections, 240, 11.2%.
That is no longer the case. A revised budget was submitted, and it did not make it to you. I apologize for that. It is a reduced 0.3%. The total number is 236,432. I do believe there is the individual sheet on there that shows the budget, just not presented in the Article 4 that you're looking at.
Okay, but it went down.
It went down.
All right.
Yes.
Motion by Al, second by Aldo. All those in favor? Unanimous. Animal control, 2.6%. Looks like it's the same thing, budget.
Same situation.
Same situation.
Personnel would.
Motion by Phil, second by Chuck. All those in favor? Unanimous. I'm gonna skip 300. It's the schools. We did 421 highway, we did 421 highway construction and maintenance. Waste collections, 431, I'm gonna talk about this one, because I met with, the health department, and I met with, Paul Mazzucchelli. It's a 10.8 budget increase. It really, it's the contractual obligation, or new contract, excuse me, the, raise in rate, for rubbish removal. It really, it went up a lot, went up 10% on that. And to be honest with you, it could have been a lot worse. They're gonna sign, I believe, the 3-year contract, of which they can get out after the first year. So, but they got a preferred rate to sign the 3-year contract, even though they can get out after the first year. But unfortunately, it was a big number. They went up, but it could have been a lot worse if we went out to bid. Other communities were looking at 14, 15% current contracts right now.
Wendell and I had also met with him just today to go into further detail about it.
Yep.
And you're exactly right, that it's exempt from procurement. They do not have to go out to bid. However, they kind of test the waters anyway, and from what we hear, every company kind of wouldn't offer anyway, because we do have such a good deal.
Yeah.
And it does sound like they're doing tremendous work, and it kind of appears to me like it's similar to health insurance, that it is what it is.
It is what it is, unfortunately, is right, so.
General expenses went up, Mr. Chairman, 40% on that budget. Any reason?
That's the disposal section, so from 70 to 100, and that had to do with leaf pickup, correct, Wendell?
Yes, that is.
Yeah,
Not Wheeler Brader contract?
not that particular line item, no.
Is that the one that now we're paying to have the leaves
Well-
hauled?
Yes.
And I talked to him in the future that the fact that down at Asylum Street, that we have our composting station, we are gonna pursue that with Scott in
Yes.
getting the leaves down there, because I am. He has 2 extra guys?
Well, it's
Thank
not
you,
even
Mr.
that.
Mendoza.
I remember we voted to give him that long new truck to
Yep.
haul salt.
Yep.
And we asked, can it haul leaves if it hauls salt? And
Yep.
it was yes.
Right.
So I'd like to
So
look at.
Do we wanna
what-
wait, do we wanna wait on this then?
I'd like to ask him a question. Why isn't Scotty hauling the leaves?
I had asked them about that, and they said that, oh, go ahead.
He did talk to us about your conversation, he
Yeah.
did acknowledge that, and also expressed that, as far as Scott's side, that, I don't wanna say not cooperation, it's the wrong term, but that the space available really wasn't there, but, by all means, I mean, I'm doing a bad job of explaining it.
Space available where, on
No,
Asylum Street?
No, but that was my concern as well. When I saw, I didn't know where it fell on the general expense because it was just a conversation. But I definitely told the health department, and I told them that I would talk to Scotty, that we need to, if we have that place, we need to be doing this ourselves, especially with the truck and everything else, so.
Especially with 2 new people.
So with that being said, do you want to hold out on this for this year?
Table it, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we'll do it next time. I'll get answers from Scott and Paul
Yeah.
on that one. All right, so
Would
fourth.
you have Paul come in?
Because I thought it was pretty straightforward with the contracts, but I didn't know that the leave portion was that, so.
He expressed you'd willingly come in as well if you wanted.
Yeah,
to
and
proceed.
he did to me too, but I thought it was, but I didn't know the leaf amount was that great. All right, so 431 will table. Health Department, 510 is 3%. Looks like it's contractual obligations as well.
That is correct.
I don't know where it was on the table. We'll start again. Motion by Jeff, second by Mike. All those in favor? Unanimous. Parks, we did. Retirement pensions, 911.
Were you going to do library?
Oh, library, we can do that now, yep. What number were they?
610.
610. I apologize for everyone, I don't have those numbers in front of me, so if either Mike or,
Oh, yeah, that's mine.
Thank you.
On the personal services or salary and wages part of that, it's $1,004,759. We were about $4,800 over that. It's 2% contract, including the library director at 2%. We had some longevity, step increases. They had one retiring step 5 librarian level information specialist. Did retire, and the Board of Trustees elected to replace her with an existing vacant position of a step 1 reference supervisor. Net effect, less than $2,800. Besides that, they increased some hours of one of the smaller workers for Saturday coverage. So again, $4,800, we were over on that, and I did not find anything unusual. The total budget of $1,259,060 is total 2.2%. The requirement for certification for 2018 was $1,210,000, so we're safely above certification. And as the chair of the subcommittee, I propose that we accept the library budget as submitted.
Perfect. Mike, motion, second by Jeff. All those in favor? Unanimous. 911, retirement pension contribution was a 4.5% increase.
I'll speak to that a little bit.
Yep.
If everyone recalls, back in October, we came forward and we appropriated an additional $1 million to the pension fund, and at the time, I expressed as chairman that we would be looking to try to increase, or decrease, I should say, the year in which we would seek to be fully funded. Prior to that, our funding schedule was escalating at a rate of 4.5%. As you can see, it's still 4.5%. However, we are not increased yet to a to shed an additional year, and that's because we're in the middle of a revaluation right now, and the timing was just not right. So we decided to stick with the existing schedule for one more year, rather than making assumptions and may not fit into the overall big picture. So we're not there yet, but we're in the middle of it right now, and I will gladly report the results as they become available.
Questions? Moved by Chuck, second by Joyce. All those in favor? Unanimous. 914, employee healthcare insurance went up 6%.
Move, Mr. Chairman. We already know the answer to this.
Yes, we did. Moved by Mark, second by Joyce. All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, so really what we have next meeting, we have school, we have police, and we have,
Transfer station.
health department.
Waste collection.
Waste collections.
So
Oh,
that's
did we
in May,
do-
Mr.
did we-
Chairman?
The next meeting.
Wait a minute, just 1 second. Did we do health department 510?
Yes.
Yes.
We did do, all right, thank you. So 431 would be the one we do next time. So those should be all the remaining budgets that we have left on Article 4.
Correct.
So, that's great. And next meeting will be our regularly scheduled
Regular
meeting.
meeting? Okay.
The 8th. Thank you. All right, cool. Great job, guys, going through all that.
I'm sorry, when's the next meeting, Mr. Chairman?
The 10th, right?
May?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to meet before that?
I'm good.
Because the selectmen are doing things on the 8th that could affect our meeting. That's why. And I don't want to meet again after that. I don't think we need, we're going to put paper on the table anyway. And you wanted to,
We have to, all right, never mind.
yep, no, that's what we're going to do.
Whatever.
Yep. Mr. Poe?
FinCom report gonna have those 3 TBD?
Yeah. Yep.
We'll do like we always did, Paul. Anything that isn't, when is the deadline for the report?
That's the thing, is the report's going to go.
What day?
That's not this one.
3 weeks
It
before
has to
town
go
meeting.
out the 8th.
The 8th.
The 8th?
Yes.
These the ones?
I don't think we've ever put paper on the chair for budget stuff, for Article 4, Mr. Chairman.
Done it for articles.
Want to meet next week?
Not for Article 4.
Tomorrow.
No.
What we had talked about last time because of the school situation.
What's wrong with the school? I'm ready to talk about that tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Not without the school.
If we're going to have a school, we're going to have another meeting.
I'm sorry?
I said, if we're going to talk about the schools, we're going to have another meeting. Because we're going to do all the other stuff. I'm not going to have another meeting after that. Because I have to have planning board come back in and everything else.
What did I miss?
I'm not prepared. I mean, you have all the information that you want?
Subcommittee's ready to talk about the school, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. I think we'll do it at the next meeting.
Well, recommend we.
Because I can't do Article
Meeting
4
for next
anyway,
week.
because we're waiting on police. So we're going to have to put a piece of paper on the table for that anyway, unless we're going to have another meeting.
May have
So I don't want to have 3 more meetings before town meeting. I don't think it's
We
necessary.
have a meeting next week, maybe we don't need the meeting on the 10th, right? If you have it done before the deadline to get the paper done, then we could
Can we
probably,
meet next week and discuss these 3 things or not?
that's what I'm thinking.
That's.
Oh,
I think
what about the articles?
Because we're going to do the articles right now. The police department budget is going to be impacted by a meeting on May 8th, the selectmen meeting. Am I correct, Zach?
Yes.
So I do not want to vote on the police budget until then, which is part of Article 4. So Article 4 is going to be a piece of paper on the chair anyway. That is my rationale.
I guess that wasn't clear to me before, Mr.
Along with a couple other articles.
That wasn't clear
as
at our
well.
meeting last week with the police department.
It was not.
I understand, but it's 6:35.
There's new
Things change.
developments that we just can't get into at this time.
That's correct. Mr. Abundanza.
Could any change in the budget happen in the beginning of May be supplemented at the October town meeting so that we can have a complete Article 4 to the people ahead of time?
No, I'm not doing anything till the selectmen do what they're doing on the 8th, after a discussion I had earlier today. Article 4 is going to be a piece of paper on the table. I said I didn't like it either. Zach, when we had our meeting, and Chairman Kincaid, I said the same thing. I'm not happy about having Article 4 as a piece of paper on the chair. Not happy at all, but
All right, Mr. Chairman, that's the biggest part of the town meeting.
Do we need to go into executive session to discuss this? Is this issue?
No.
Can we even discuss it?
The number's just not available right
Right.
now. That's bottom line.
Okay.
It's just not done. It's not finished.
the selectmen want to talk about it on the 8th.
Why can't you mail the bud after the 10th?
Oh, and do our own mailing?
Yes, just, it's simply.
Oh,
mean, it's 250.
Why? No, with all due respect, why blow $300 if we can put a piece of paper? Is it that critical?
The criticality is not the piece of paper, Al. The criticality is the detail of the budget. It's
Yeah,
not.
I don't have any issue with that, because I mean, I voiced to them, I was very unhappy about it. No, that sounds great, Jerk.
Yeah,
No, I
that
didn't
makes
think about
sense.
that. I apologize. I
can
just
do that.
figured, we're doing stuff on the chair anyways, but I'll do them.
If we're meeting on the 8th or the 10th, we're not gonna, we
Then
we
we'll,
may have
we'll mail,
time to
we'll mail everything
We'll
out
have
together, and that's a, no, that's a great idea. No, I appreciate the thought. I just, we,
Just put-
No.
No.
I wouldn't
Don't
go
get
there.
carried away.
So I think that that's a good thing, because like I said, I had voiced my displeasure with having Article 4. The rest of them I didn't care about, but I didn't want Article 4 on the chair, so we'll do that. We'll do another mailing. That sounds perfect. Good suggestions, guys. Thank you. So with that being said, let's go over to articles.
While we're up here, do you want us to jump into ours?
Yep, you want to do yours? Go ahead. So what do we got? What do you want to do first?
Go with town-
39?
Yep, town treasurer, 39 and 40, yep.
It's 39.
I don't have the warrant.
I got it right here, Chris.
1.1 million for Godfrey Brook. Is that
So
the
you
one?
want to pull it back? Is that what you're doing?
If everyone recalls, when we originally appropriated these funds, we had to do, issue bonding, which no intentions whatsoever of actually bonding. And that was due to the fact that it was a grant that we were being reimbursed from FEMA. However, in order to, secure the bids, we had to have the money available. Having the money available was hence putting bonding out there. And, it came in great, came in under, what we had budgeted. There's remaining funds there now because we also received a grant. Project's done. We no longer need this borrowing outstanding. All we're simply doing is trying to rescind it. That's it.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Second.
Move
By
favorable.
Mark, second by Mike. All those in favor? 40?
Yeah, just,
Um,
I didn't bring my debt schedule.
Okay, that article, I'm asking for $315,000 to pay off one of our bonds that is callable. We did this in the October as well.
This is one of those that we asked you
Yep.
to
Yeah.
come back. So you're
See
just
what's
doing what
money.
we
It's a
asked
big,
you
it's
last
a big
fall.
one.
Yeah,
Yep.
what's the,
No,
what's,
and it's great savings.
yeah, what's the
Chris,
rate
just tell
on
them
it?
what the savings.
Yeah, what's the rate on it?
That 315,000, I believe that was a 4.5% interest rate for this current year, then it's gonna go to 5.
Yeah, good.
On another note, I did look at some of our other debt that we have out there, along with Zach, and Town Administrator Valani, and found that the geriatric bonds that we had out there, more specifically, the 40-year bond, became callable. So I asked our FA to do refinancing to show the numbers. With that said, we're gonna be able to refinance that 40-year loan down to, it was at 30, we're gonna bring it down to 28, lower the interest rates, lower their monthly, yearly payments as well. Over the 28 years, we'll save the town $1.4 million. So,
Chris, go over the 315.
Save them, correct.
well, save
yes.
them, but,
them.
Save
but
them.
saves
The
us.
three-
The-
the 315.
The
by
one
paying
question,
off-
yeah,
by paying
exactly.
off the-
What are you
by
gonna
paying
save
off
on the
three-
315 was the question, I think, that Mr.
No,
Shane.
no, how much debt capacity are you opening up is the question, because we're paying off the bond.
Yeah.
315,000.
And how-
That's the total piece of it.
I think what you're asking is on an annual basis.
Yeah, what's the,
Yeah,
what,
so
how much
here's
more
what was the
capacity are
principal
we gonna
payment.
have to borrow?
So also, keep,
50,000.
the bond was higher than that for this, the total amount was 354, but we still have what we voted for earlier, a principal payment that will, so we kind
Yeah.
of did the net difference, you know? So how much again, on an annual?
It was
You gotta do
between
the
the
math.
principal and the interest was just shy of 50,000.
50,000. So we should be careful not to let that be lost in,
Right.
other budgets.
Yep.
So when we do need the bond again, it's still available there.
Favorable, Mr. Chairman?
Favor by Aldo, second by Phil.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Finance Director, 43.
Wendell, speak to this one a little bit.
All right, for this one, it's to close out some of the old articles. Zach and I met with the department heads, and
Before you, it is under Finance Director, and I accidentally put that into FY17 transfers, so it doesn't belong there, but that's where you will find the sheet, so you can follow.
You're gonna give us the whole list there?
Yes, it's there, and under FY17, Finance Director, FY17 transfers.
Send it to me. I can't get on there with this. I can't do both at the same
You
time.
got it, yep,
I got it.
Because we've always included it as part of the report.
got it, yep, we'll take
It's
it.
here,
Hear
Al.
correctly,
It's on the
list
drive.
of articles, are they gonna be on the drive?
They're on the drive now. I need to put them in the final report.
It's on the drive.
All right.
I could send it to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I'll send it to you.
Well, I see the article, I'm talking about the list of articles that are subject to this article.
All right,
The ones
guys.
you're eliminating.
Yes,
the
that, they're,
list.
they're on Finance Director, FY17
Thank you, okay.
transfers.
Okay.
Go ahead,
522,
Wendell.
17.
so, all right, so Zach and I met with department heads, and we reviewed the need, of whether these articles were still needed or not. We really, looked at a lot of the old articles especially, so if you see in the list, it shows all the articles, the balance to be closed on the right side for each one. The total we're looking to close out is $169,596.72.
And included is the tablets. I was reluctant to do so. I wanted to put a charge there, but
What?
I did not. I'm closing it.
Close it.
We are.
Should've closed it last year. Can't find it. How come when you guys do
Open.
spreadsheets and stuff, you don't put totals down at the bottom?
It's on there.
What is it? This one, articles to close.
3940.
How much was that amount again?
I can't get it to.
It should be at the very bottom of the spreadsheet, the
No,
total
they won't-
is-
it won't open,
It's
that's the whole thing.
169,596.72.
I don't have the spreadsheet either. Is there any?
It's in FY17. It's in FY17.
Transfers.
Transfers.
All right. And this is,
It's,
Finance Director, transfers.
no, I have the file, it will not open.
Transfers, okay.
articles to close, it says.
Well, we told you guys to be aggressive with this, and that's exactly what we wanted. We don't want money lingering on, so good job with that.
Just a reminder, I do appreciate the subcommittees talking over it with, when they have their meetings. I would appreciate you continue to do that. It found it to be very helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah, oh, good, okay.
Motion,
Move, Mr. Chairman.
second, all those in favor, unanimous. 44,
Under that same location, I hope you don't have similar trouble, is where we have our transfer between the lines article. This is the lowest I have ever seen. I'm about to go into my 8th year, and we have 4 transfers at this time. I'll let Wendell speak to them.
25K.
If you all find those spreadsheets, the first one, it's transferring, this is within the department, selectmen, it's transferring from general expenses to the personal services, the amount of $70 to cover contracted, expenses in terms of salaries and wages. For the town clerk's transfer, this one is gonna be from the elections account, general expenses elections. They wanna transfer $10,000 to the personal services, and we kinda touched on this when we were looking at budgets. Zach touched on it earlier. Due to the early voting, there were more expenses in terms of overtime and hours worked for the workers. So this 10,000 will cover that, deficit. 192 public properties and buildings, transferring from general expenses to repair and maintenance. Repair and maintenance, it's voted on Article 4 as a standalone line, and due to contracts, E&E contract, as well as some repairs at the senior center, this line is gonna be over budget by $15,000, so we're looking to make that transfer.
This one makes the list every year, and hopefully, if you recall, in the last meeting you guys had, we hopefully adjusted that situation and won't come down this path any longer.
15,000, why?
Part of it, there's 2 months left for a contract with E&E for, I believe it's heating systems, heating services, and then there are some repairs that need to be done to the senior center.
This is that account where, prior to this particular year, where we're asking for an adjustment, or just kind of shuffling the deck within, where more or less 90 to 95% of the entire repair and maintenance budget is contracted services, leaving very little room to do anything, and just minor things throughout the year have caused us to be in this similar situation that we end up in every year. There is a spreadsheet that we did have them fill out, your transfer sheet that does list some of the projects that had been done throughout the year. If you'd like, Wendell can kind of read
Zach,
it.
I guess the problem I have is 15,000 for these contracts at the senior center.
No.
It's for these contracts overall.
Yes.
It's a general government budget.
Right. Now, the question is, if we keep having that every year, how do we fix the
We
budget?
did, we
He
did.
he said that.
We did.
So for next year, we won't have this.
Should not.
Well,
No.
let's,
I really,
I was gonna say,
Probably not.
you know,
I seriously doubt we will,
Alright.
put it that way, but
all right, Wendell.
it should not.
Okay, and the final one is for hydrant services. It's transferring from, this one's gonna transfer from general government, general expenses to the hydrant, services, general expenses. It's $500. This is, again, a contract, and it was just slightly higher than we had budgeted for.
We have never had to transfer money into that account since I've been on this.
We did last year.
Last year was different, though. It was that increase.
It was kind of a similar situation where at the beginning of the year, we asked, what is it expected to be? They give us a number, and each quarter was up $100 from what was estimated.
All right, so we're looking at $25,570 in transfers. Does anyone have any other questions for them on the floor? Moved by Mark, second by Aldo. All those in favor? Unanimous. 44. All right, 42 is Finance Committee. That's our article. It's snow and ice. And snow and ice is the amount of $372,000.
Slightly under, but a lot of times mailboxes come in, so rather than have to deal with a minor deficit again and raise it,
Yeah.
we just figured we'd bump it up a little bit, so 472 is a good number.
372?
I'm sorry, 372.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I was gonna say you rounded up a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
42. Anyone have a question? Move a Mike.
Second.
Second by Chuck. All those in favor, clear up snow and ice.
And the amount is?
372,000. Mike Nicholson and Chuck.
That's a pretty good number, Mr.
That
Chairman.
is a good number.
It's incredible based on the.
It's on the March snowstorms,
Yeah,
right?
based
One
on
of the
winter we
smallest
had.
I've ever seen.
Yep. I think we are good with you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, absolutely.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Appreciate it, guys.
It's great.
Why don't we go to selectmen, get those done. Rick, while he's coming up, Vernon Grove is Article 26. It's the amount of $3,000. It really is no new spending because the money will then be transferred out of the Avis Pond Perpetual Care. So really, it's not costing the town anything in order to repair the bronze markers at Vernon. Moved by Aldo.
Second.
We have to do it, it's just a transfer, and then they transfer it back to 3,000.
What happened to the markers?
They were for repair, they, just with weathering, they needed to be repaired. They said with age and the weather and everything else, when I had talked to them.
The ground shift.
Yep, and all that stuff. They said it was just regular maintenance. And
It
once
wasn't
again-
vandalism or anything, was it?
No.
You know, this is the infamous columbarium, right? So we always have questions about this.
I know you do, but it doesn't cost us anything,
I
because
think
their
we need
fund
to
is,
spend an hour talking
their
about
fund is
that.
gonna backfill it for 3,000, so it costs the town nothing. I need,
There's no room for me.
motion by Jeff, second by
Had that
Mike.
Discussion too.
Oh, do we? All right. Aldo and Phil? Great. All those in favor? Thank you. That was the shortest Vernon Grove we ever had, and it still was too long. All right, Rick,
Good evening.
why don't we just start, and just go numerically through them?
Okay.
I know we had talked earlier, pulling some out, but, let's start at 14.
Yes, this is under the Governor's Modernization Act. This will allow the town, if they so choose, to deny local licenses and permits to a taxpayer
who's either neglected or refused to pay local taxes. If they filed a legitimate request for an abatement, obviously would not apply. Typically, right now, currently right now, we can't begin collection until the taxpayer has been delinquent for at least 1 year. So it's kind of a good faith effort. So again, selectmen don't have to do it, but it's under the Modernization Act.
Move favorable.
Moved by Aldo, second by Chuck.
We're gonna be able to deny what?
A liquor license, for example, is someone who's delinquent in taxes.
All those in favor?
It's a good idea.
Unanimous. 15,
Yes, again, under the Governor's Modernization Act, this is going to allow us to establish a speed limit of 25 miles per hour on any roadway inside a thickly settled or business district, or on any way that is not a state highway. Typically, what we'd have to do is petition the DOT. Every time we've tried that in the last 4 years, it has been denied. We have requests from citizens periodically, and now the chief can make a determination based on his traffic studies.
on this has no financial impact. I don't know if we'd want to do a refer to sponsor.
Okay. The revenue enhancement bill.
Ouch. Not gonna go there.
I don't know how you give tickets to people on bicycles, Michael.
Anyone know refer to sponsor?
Refer to sponsor.
Aldo, second by Mike. All those in favor, refer to sponsor on 15? Unanimous. 16,
Very similar to the last one, this will allow creation of designated safety zones on or at or near any way which is not a state highway. And we could put a posted speed limit of 20 miles per hour there.
Refer to sponsor.
Aldo, second by Chuck. Refer to sponsor on 16. All those in favor? Unanimous. 17,
This will allow an article to amend the special legislation and ensure that the town administrator position and the finance director position would be members at large at town meeting. Both positions play a prominent role in the town meeting process.
Sure, Mr. Chairman.
referred by Aldo, second by Phil. All those in favor? Unanimous. 18,
Yes, this pertains to Middle School East. This will allow the Board of Selectmen to seek proposals under the procurement statute, Chapter 30B, towards issuing an RFP for the sale or lease of the former building at 45 Main Street. Also allow the selectmen to enter into any agreements to execute any instruments to sell or lease, and to set a minimum price.
now this does have a financial. Thank you, Chuck.
Second.
Motion by Chuck, second by Aldo. All those in favor?
Aaron?
Yep,
Discussion.
absolutely.
When will the RFP go out?
Favorable recommendation.
As soon as the selectmen prepare it, I think town council's
done.
already prepared it.
Already done?
Well, I've done it, I mean,
Yeah.
I have it ready to give it to selectmen.
Okay, no, that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to make sure that we were,
Quickly.
okay, that's fine.
I think that's the intent.
Okay, that's fine.
On the easy ones.
All right, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
All right, any other discussion on that, guys? All those in favor? Unanimous. 19,
The Board of Selectmen, this will authorize funds to hire a consultant to be utilized by the IDC for consultant services, to analyze their role, and also make any appropriate recommendations. They will also look to other similar towns. The goal here is to try to see if the IDC can be improved. Maybe we need to tweak it. This is the hiring of a consultant. The anticipated appropriation is $18,000.
so 18,000 for a consultant.
How does the town planner enter into this? Doesn't he sit and look at this commission and say this is a good idea or a bad idea?
Town
or-
planner is a member of the commission, I think.
And wouldn't he be the consultant to partake or take the lead in this and
Not necessarily. I
say?
think what the board is looking to do is to analyze other towns, make comparable studies, and do that.
And
So-
why can't the town planner do that, Mr. Chairman?
Well, setting that aside, the
Yeah.
commission itself and the board of selectmen want to get an outside consultant to do it.
If you keep doing the same thing.
Because you want.
over and
I
over.
mean, that's the question.
Mark, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, why do you expect a different result? I think this is 18 grand to see if there are other alternatives
And I
that
just-
we haven't considered.
I'm just questioning.
No, but it's a good question, but it's like, do it again, do it again.
Yep.
Do it again. Eventually, you say, let's invest a little bit of money to go see if somebody else, because you're not gonna deal with the root issue, so.
And certainly, anything that the Industrial Commission can get done, obviously, we're gonna
My
get
point
returns on
exactly.
tax revenue, as well as the betterment of whether it's Main Street or our community as a whole, so.
Favorable.
Vote by Chuck, second by Schiavi. All those in favor? We got to count now. Hands up. Mr. Shane's gonna make it difficult. I'm kidding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You'll miss me when I'm gone, Mr. Chairman.
I certainly will.
Yeah.
All right, that's
It turns out
and
you
one
can't put a
opposed.
coffin in one of those.
All right, 1920.
This would allow an additional compensation to a treasurer or a tax collector who becomes a certified mass municipal collector or treasurer. The idea behind this is to encourage the positions to complete the programs to receive the certification. As far as a cost, it's 10% of the salary, but not more than $1,000.
Sure.
This is just the inducement?
It's an inducement for them to do the program.
This is it.
I guess my question is, why do we care? I mean, it's inducement to them to do the program. That's nice,
I
but
think they
what
become,
does,
like anything else, like a police officer who becomes more educated, any position.
well, no, Rick, I'm just asking,
Yeah.
like, what's the benefit to the town?
We get a certified, someone who's taken the necessary courses, completed the necessary exam. Both our treasurer and our collector are actually in the process of doing it right now. Chris, I believe, is just about ready to
2018.
take the exam.
And again,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being slow.
That's
but
okay.
This is all nice, but what benefit for you having this certificate does the town get? That's all I'm asking.
Hopefully a more knowledgeable staff.
Yeah, we get a more educated, more
So
knowledgeable.
it's just an enhancement of education. There's
Yes.
no extra, it's not like you're getting a paramedic or.
No, not like you're getting a higher degree or anything like that, no. But
It's just
hopefully
general
someone
education.
more knowledgeable, more educated, more versatile, that type of thing.
One other question.
it's okay, Al.
Mr.
Okay.
Jim,
It's a professional designation.
Yeah, Chuck, Aldo, I get you. All right, Aldo.
Rick, just for curiosity's sake, a person completes it?
Yeah.
Are we looking at a salary adjustment?
$1,000.
No, just $1,000.
$1,000?
Yeah, no salary
It's
enhancement.
an
or anything
honorarium,
like that.
is what you said.
Yeah, good question.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a one-time?
I don't-
Or is it an increase to the salary of
No,
1,000?
yeah, be each year, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Wait, he just asked the question, you said no, he asked the question, you said yes, which is
That's
it?
what I'm saying. No, this is a $1,000 increase every year.
Situation this year,
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's not gonna happen now.
effective this year.
It's not the question. That wasn't the question. The question is it,
Yes, it'd be recurring, yes.
It's a salary
so
increase.
every year they get an increase of
It's
$1,000?
not the salary, it's the benefits, but the money is.
He doesn't
Like
get
the
an
twin
extra
bills,
1,000
like any
every
other
year.
position.
Continually.
Yes, he does forever.
This is a
Ever
salary,
since
wait a
we
minute.
worked for 30 years, he gets
Come on,
30,000.
let's hold it together. It's getting late. I still got
Anyway,
stuff to
Mr.
do, go
Chairman, We're all
through.
getting a little
Just-
punchy.
Yep, Mike.
Is this a salary item or an expense line item for the department?
Salary.
Salary?
Salary, yeah.
It's
Not- not-
1,000 per year,
Yeah.
not 5 years, 5,000, that's not the case.
So your
It's a
answer
stipend
is,
of $1,000.
you get $1,000 the first year, and then you get raises on top of the $1,000. That's the issue. It doesn't come out of your salary, it's an addition to your salary, and it gets bumped every year.
Correct.
So you'd be, right, so now the base of the salary increases by $1,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
Period.
Done.
Yeah.
Not this year, next year.
Is everyone clear on what we went over?
Yeah.
Is it as muddy as I think it is?
So it's not fiscal 18, it's fiscal 19?
Next year. He won't get it until next year.
Chris can't take the exam till what, 2000?
Myself and the tax collector will not take it until fiscal 19.
Got it.
When it would become in effect.
So we just wanna put it in place.
I don't know, I know how it is in your business.
Mark,
No, I'm good.
But if this
Sure.
is enhancing
I'm
your
positive.
professional
anybody else?
understanding,
Mr. Mendoza. No, keep it going. Let's do
This
it.
type of testing and classes ensures that the people who have the jobs are qualified to do them.
We
So
get
this is
it.
a professional designation, when they go through these
Same
exams.
in real estate, we have to take
Certification as
12
a,
hours of credits every year.
municipal
We get increases in salary.
Thank you. He said they were all done, that we were good. Now you're gonna get them to talk again.
Finance committee, could we add finance committee in here as well?
Increase our raise.
For all the certifications that we have?
Motion by somebody.
Yeah, me.
Bill,
Yeah.
second, Joycey. All those in favor? Unanimous. What did the chairman of the selectmen decide on Article 24? Did you talk to council? Or Rick, did you
Consulting services.
want to wait till next meeting, or do you want to do it now?
Your choice.
No? Doesn't matter to you. What do you guys want to do?
The number, well, I'll give you the number,
Yep.
and you know the background. I mean,
Yep.
we're continuing on, the process goes on.
We're now looking towards going heavily into the due diligence and everything else that's gonna have to be done, then looking towards the purchase and sale agreement. Now it's extended out till sometime, likely fall town meeting. So there's more time to do all this, so to take it through the end, through closing, if it all goes through and if town meeting ultimately approves it, it's about $400,000.
Oh, God.
Get this all the way.
We could have drilled more wells.
Don't look at me, Mr. Chairman. Last town meeting, we asked what the number was gonna be, and we should have appropriated it then.
We didn't know.
And so we didn't know. We now know.
I think the evolution of this has certainly changed a lot, so now we know.
Move favorable, Mr. Chairman.
Second by anybody? Phil, all those in favor? Unanimous. So it's 24. 25.
Yes, this is just an article that would approve the application of Milford Downtown LLC. They own the property, the former Milford National Bank and Trust Company, and it's to discontinue a small portion as a public way, about 43 feet plus or minus of Park Terrace. It will resolve just a potential title issue. So,
Motion to refer to a sponsor from Chuck. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mark. All those in favor? Unanimous. 27.
27, July 1st, Middle School East will come under the jurisdiction of the selectmen. This article would seek funds to make repairs, cover costs of the continued operation of the Middle School East building. The appropriation amount we're looking for is $80,000 this time.
Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The number I got from the school department was $135,000 on an annual basis to maintain that property. And that's not including the numbers that we put in for snow plowing and landscaping and everything else. So I think the number is low. And that's the number that's coming out of the school budget, so you might as well transfer it right to you.
Again, we've looked at this.
You're not opposed to that?
I wouldn't be, but that's fine.
All right, so we want to make an adjustment and say it's the 130,000 then?
Obviously, just one less comment, knowing that, say, that the situation changes, it drops down.
I'm expecting money to drop on the bottom line on that.
Well, just because you have it, you're not gonna
Rick,
spend
what was
it.
your number originally?
80.
80?
All right, so 80 was the initial number.
Yeah, 35.
135. So 135 would be the amount.
Have the numbers here, Mr. Chairman. I sent you.
I know you do, but they were only asking for 80.
Well,
This is
I
a
mean, if we're gonna
clean-
maintain the building and it's not gonna degrade till, like the other one degraded,
I'm
then.
not gonna ask people to ask for more money though.
It's gonna fall off.
Exactly.
Motion by Jeff on 135,000. Second by Mike. All those in favor for 135? Done. 27. Jeff and Mike Nicholson. 29.
Yes, this would allow the town to create a revolving fund for proceeds from rental of properties and authorize expenditures without appropriation for the upkeep of the properties. Looking to do this, this is again under the Governor's Modernization Act. This would allow for timely upkeep and maintenance of any town-owned rental property. School, right now, under statute, can do it. It just adds this feature to the town side.
What property are we talking about here?
I'm not talking about any property, but for example, if we were to rent Middle School East, that rental money would go into the fund and be used to upkeep. Purchase Street School would be another example.
Move favorable.
Aldo, second by Mike Schiavi. All those in favor?
I have a question on that. You're saying Purchase Street School? We're renting it now.
Well, that's just it, but now we could take that money, put it into this
revolving
fund,
account.
and then if we need to fix something, we could use that money to do
Are
it.
we still looking to sell that building?
The selectmen will be discussing that at some point. Right now, there's a 3-year lease, I believe, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but they were inclined to complete the lease.
Okay, because we do
And then
not
discuss it.
have all the expenses for maintaining that building, which was more than we're taking in a pilot in the capital budget anymore. So just, if you take it back to the selectmen, that, you know, there's no money in the plan right now to maintain that building unless an
That came up in the
emergency.
meeting when we talked about
Right.
the lease versus buying and selling. Yeah.
Whatever it is, it just, there was a 30,000, I mean, it keeps exceeding whatever we get just to maintain it. I mean, obviously, if the roof blows off or there's a safety issue.
I think we pushed the roof back it's on the plan, but I think it's a couple of years pushed back, but, yeah.
It's in your book.
I didn't pull it off. let's put it that way.
I can tell you the subcommittee is not carrying it on the long-range plan anymore, because it made no sense to us. But it's not to say if it,
Well, again, we have an obligation
have to
both
deal-
legally and morally to take care of that building, so that's all.
yes.
Yeah, so.
No, so I said.
That's
if
where
the
I'm
roof
coming
blows
from
off
right
or
now.
something,
Right.
but to plan maintenance that is not needed in a building that we hope we'll stop losing money on by selling it, didn't make any sense to carry that out, that's all.
Yeah, and I think that's what provoked the conversation to begin with about.
Cool.
Getting, talking about the options.
Any other questions? Oh, actually, we already voted on it, yes, after we voted,
Nope,
so.
done.
All right, so 33?
Okay, yep.
This is an article seeking special legislation. It relates to the water company now, but actually it's beyond that too.
No.
No, you're
Oh,
talking about the wrong one.
I'm sorry.
This is an alcoholic license.
This is,
I got a
yeah.
different number then, so,
Additional?
okay. I must have an old version.
This is just the
Victoria G.
petition the legislature for special legislation for the grant of an additional liquor license. 198 East Main Street, the former Tuffles building.
It had a liquor license in it.
Former what?
It had transferred it.
It's down at
So the
Kmart.
liquor license was transferred someplace else?
Kmart.
Right, correct.
Oh, that's right, the
Down at the
Kmart.
Kmart parking area.
Yes, yeah. So, again, this will, so that's what this is here.
Mr. Chairman,
I have a second? Joyce?
I think this is a refer to sponsor, actually.
I would probably agree with you,
To
to be
refer to
honest with you.
sponsor.
Yeah, we always do refer to
Yep.
Yeah,
I,
to
no,
refer to
I would,
sponsor.
yep, I would
Move
agree
refer
with
to
you.
sponsor, Mr.
Mark made a motion.
Second.
Joyce, you for second.
Joyce second.
Reverse,
All those
refer to
changes we made.
sponsor.
Everybody's in
All
favor.
right, so that was 33. 35, we're gonna deal with next time. We're gonna, our next
What-
meeting,
what
Article
about-
35.
What about 34, Mr. Chairman? Planning board.
We're gonna do, well, I'll do all, the planning board has actually 3 of them, so I'm gonna do all 3 of them in a minute. I just wanna finish up with the selectmen.
Got it.
Lost my track of thought there.
Yeah,
35, chief, we're gonna do at the next meeting.
36.
I've all but 36, I've been asked by town administrator and Chairman Kincaid that we wait on 36 as well. So 37 is listed under selectmen, but it's not. It's the school
committee.
Chromebooks, so talk about that later. 38, I think that's your final one, Rick.
Yes, this will replenish the compensated absences fund. As you know, it's used to make any required payments under union contract for any unused sick leave for our retiring police and fire.
38.
38. And the amount on that is $200,000.
Is IOD?
No, the compensated absences fund, when they retire, sick leave.
Sick leave
Oh,
buyback.
buyback? I thought we eliminated sick leave buyback, or is it grandfathered in?
There's some grandfathered at
Some
a higher
grandfathered.
rate, but it still exists just at a much lower rate.
We cut it in half
Cut
many
it in
years ago.
half.
Cut it in half.
Move, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Jeff. All those in favor? Unanimous? All right, that's it for selectmen. Thank you guys very much, appreciate it.
Did you Article 13, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we did that last meeting. I think
Okay.
that, yes, we did that last meeting. Before I let you go, Jerry, I want to confirm that. I'm almost positive we did.
13?
Yeah.
13 was the last one that we said yay on. at the last
Revolving
meeting.
account.
At the last meeting.
Yeah, yeah,
We had 1 through 13, all approved except for 4.
except for 4. Yep. Excellent. So we
That's
did
what
that.
I had down in
Yep,
my notes.
and that's what I had as well. I just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, 13 was revolving account.
So that's it. Mike Soares had 2 articles, which he's not here tonight to talk about, numbers 22 and 30.
School
So we'll-
committee.
We'll talk them at the next meeting. We'll do the schools.
We already talked about those, we can talk about those.
All right.
The
Wish, Mr.
chickens?
Chairman.
No, we
No,
want Mike to
that's-
be here.
No, I'm talking about the school
That's-
committee one, not Mike Soares
We
one.
have the school ones we'll do, but planning board, we have 3 of them. To be honest with you, they're all non-monetary, so that's why I didn't have Larry come in. Let's start with number 21. I would assume we're referring to sponsor. Thank you, it's about chickens. So Aldo, refer to sponsor.
Is that a revenue issue?
Yes,
Now,
there
there-
are.
Just 21.
I know about the chicken.
Actually, it's cats and dogs, this one. Chickens is Mike's.
Yeah.
Chipmunks is
There it is.
next.
All right, Aldo made the motion. Do I have a second to refer to sponsor on Article 21 of the Planning Board regarding household pets? Thank you, Chuck. All those in favor for refer to sponsor?
Do we
Thank
know
you.
what it even is?
Yeah, that's how
It
many
limits
chickens
the
you can have in your yard.
It limits the pet count
21 is the limit of how many animals?
and
in a
what types,
property?
and types of
What
animals.
it does, in the RA district right now, there's an A for allowed by special permit, this will make it 0, not allowed. Those are things other than cats and dogs.
That's correct.
That came from the chicken situation.
Chickens, llamas.
It's a non, it's,
But
it's
if
a
they're
non-financial.
Wait, if they're
No, I just
grandfathered
wanna
in,
have
they're
something to
grandfathered in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, guys, 34, all right,
Come on,
come on,
let's go.
get them back on the track, let's go.
Come
34 is the next planning board article. It's regarding the placement of marijuana dispensaries. Once again, it's just, in all three of these, I apologize, all three of these will be voted on their May 2nd. They haven't ruled on any one of these, just for your own
They being-
information.
Yeah. They being the planning
The
board?
planning board, yes.
So we should table them, Mr. Chairman.
Either way, they're non-financial, I
With
prefer
all
just
due
to refer to
respect, Mark,
sponsor.
I'm not
Why?
sure.
Why?
And it's placement of,
Do
placement
we
of-
really care if they vote yea or nay?
Well,
We're
the
gonna
marijuana one's certainly a financial impact.
Not its
Significantly.
location.
Its location, how so?
Well,
By
if there's
special
no
permit?
location, there's no financial impact.
I would say refer it to sponsor because it's outside of
I
our
got a motion
purview.
by Al,
Maybe
second by
worth
Chuck.
talking about.
All those in favor? Are you gonna be in favor on that, Mr. Shane, revert?
not.
Nope, so,
I'd like to
hands,
discuss it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-1. If it does, you can bring it back up, Mr.
I'm
Shane.
fine, majority rules, Mr. Chairman.
Article 41, thank you, is the last one. What this does is it enables the ability of solar-mounted systems on town buildings, except in a certain district. We've been talking about that we were in favor of this, so I'm glad that the planning board's going for, actually, that it's on their agenda. So, do I have a motion to refer to sponsor?
I make a motion to table this and listen.
Okay.
Reason being, Mr. Chairman, that we've all gone, or I did, we went to the school department, said, you gotta do this. So, I think we should be voting on its merits, not necessarily refer to sponsor, because it's a financial impact to the town.
I agree with them. This
Yeah,
could
I
have a
agree.
big financial
Huge.
impact.
It's, well, once, this is not, if you read the article, this article, what it does is it doesn't require site plan approval for it. It doesn't say that they have to do it, not do it, but if, in respect to Mr. Shane, if we want to table it for next, I'll have them in. Yeah. That's not what this article does. I know what you do and what you're
But
saying.
This article allows it, or not, doesn't allow it in certain areas, Mr. Chairman.
That's correct, except for the downtown area would be the only place it's not allowed.
But, so I don't know what it was before.
All right, we'll have the planning board in on that then. We'll have Larry. All right, I have a motion to table it by Mr. Shane. Do I have a
Second.
second by Al? All those in favor to table it? Done. As I mentioned, Mike Soers is not here to talk about his on 22 and 30. What do we got now? If we want to talk about the schools, what do we got for schools?
31? Maybe there's one before that.
31.
There might be one before that, Mr.
Let
Chairman.
me check.
Oh, we already did 12, right?
Four.
Oh, we did 12?
Yeah, yep, we did 12.
12 we did.
the vending
We
machines
did
are-
last time.
Yeah.
That's the potato chip money.
37.
So 32.
31 would be your first one, that would be PEG access.
And we discussed this at subcommittee with the school committee, the PEG access. There's a special project that they're doing at the high school, and monies will come from from Comcast and Verizon through the PEG access account to fund that special project at the high school. It has to do with television.
Yep.
All that.
What does PEG stand for, by the way? PEG, what does it stand for?
Public,
Oh,
educational,
public education
government,
and
local
government.
cable. The PEG access, if you look at your bill, you'll see cost of franchise or franchise fee, depending if you're Comcast.
I think it says pay access on the bill.
Does it say now?
Yeah, I think
Because
it
it
does.
used to have cost of franchise. It's a couple bucks a month that every subscriber pays. It ends up being
Goes into
either
a fund.
4% of the total, $6 million that, the town residents pay in, cable fees. Gets kicked back to the 501, the, town of Milford TV studio and the school to maintain
I just spoke very briefly.
the salaries, everything. So it doesn't cost non-subscribers any money, but that's what keeps the local TV going and the studio up in, the school.
This is through the school committee?
No, this is through the
this part of
state
Milford
government.
TV or just?
That's what funds Milford TV. State has said you can charge up to,
Right.
we signed a 10-year contract that we get a percentage.
Yeah, why does that come through the school committee?
Because they have a special project that they're
Yeah.
funding through the school.
Oh, thank you. All right.
Thought I said that, sorry. I mean, they do other projects. They did all these cameras here. I mean, they use the money for all, local stuff. Move, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Move Mark, second Jeff. All those in favor? Unanimous?
Article 32, Mr. Chairman, is the new Rule 40B, Section 540, Section 5B of the general laws for the, what do they call it, the
40B?
help me, no, it's not
No,
40B.
not 40B.
40, Chapter 40, Section
40,
5B.
Section
The
5B.
Modernization Act. It allows the school department to create a stabilization account to take excess funds from special education and transportation, I believe, and use it to pay excess the following year.
In
So-
those accounts.
In those accounts, exactly.
I'd move
Specifically.
favorable on that one.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor? Unanimous?
So this becomes like snow and ice.
Yeah.
This just makes a second
But since they never,
exemption.
drop anything to the bottom line, it's,
Well, no, but Mark, this becomes just like snow and ice. If they did have a surplus,
Right.
they can pay next year with this year.
exactly.
That's right.
Right.
Article 37, Mr. Chairman.
That's good.
We can table Article 37. We have not received any business plan on how they're gonna maintain these and what it's gonna cost, et cetera, et cetera. So at the moment, we'll table it.
All right,
What are
sounds
we
good.
talking about here?
The Chromebook.
Chromebooks.
$600,000.
600,000 for Chromebook.
Yeah, make sure there's also a use,
Oh, yeah. Trust me.
Yep.
the
We're
whole
looking
bit,
for a business plan.
the whole bit, yeah.
We
Looking
got
for
a
a business plan.
preliminary, but we never got a full.
And I talked to the superintendent about that, and he said he would have one, so. we'll
Perfect.
see.
All right, so, we had a motion to table it from Mark, second by Jeff. All those in favor? We'll revisit 37. Sounds good. All right, guys, I think we are in very good shape.
Can we
Yeah.
do it again?
No,
Oh.
I appreciate everybody. It's, these are always the long meetings and, you know,
Marathon.
they're not exactly exciting and
I
sexy,
agree with you
so.
on marijuana.
All right, so we will be meeting on our regular meeting date, and we will mail out an addendum to the town report. So with that being, yep, our regular meeting time, and then we'll mail out an addendum to our report, which I think is a very good
No,
suggestion.
no, I would just mail the whole report, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yeah, we could do that too.
Might as well. I mean,
Yep,
Article
that's
4 is part of the report.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we should, do-
That's fine.
Chris, could we,
Phil, what do you got first?
well, you know, I actually agree with Mark on Article 34 in terms of the marijuana. And if we're having the planning board come in anyway,
Yeah, we'll have them come in.
have them come in and,
It's fine. If you'd like to do that, so if you want to make a motion to.
yeah, I move that, what, do we have to amend or rescind?
You have to rescind a favorable
Yeah,
recommendation.
I move we rescind the favorable recommendation on Article 34. Any
I can't second it.
I need a
Mr. Chairman, 'cause
second.
I voted against it.
Yep.
Any seconds?
So I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike.
Scabby.
Yeah.
All those in favor? They're coming back anyway.
Okay.
All right, done. All right, so I'll have them come in for that as well.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, you're up now, Chuck.
Adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Done. Good job, everybody.
What was that, Article 34 you just?